And welcome back, guys. It's time to go into our final series of the evening. We have still to send one more team home. Seoul Dynasty getting ready to go up against the Atlanta Reign. Both of these teams, if I'm going to be brutally honest, have looked kind of abysmal in the matches that we've seen so far. And now they square off against each other to see who stays alive in the tournament and who has to get back on the plane or just stay in their apartments, I suppose, for the Dynasty.
Or the Gen G facility. They're looking for their second star here. They got to post up that very beautiful silver star from the Kickoff Clash victory. But the last two matches, including I say last two because they had also lost to the Philly Fusion in the regular season here before entering the Midseason Madness, and then losing to the Spark the way they did was a bit of a surprise for everybody. So Seoul Dynasty have a bit of bounce back to do. Now it's an interesting game, Achilles, because I still expect a lot in this lower bracket, actually, from both teams. I think they both have this identity of being lower bracket demons. Atlanta Reign last year in playoffs got knocked down very early, then had this incredible run all the way through to the grand finals with Shanghai, right? But Seoul Dynasty, remember, they lost to Shanghai very early in the upper bracket for Kickoff Clash, then also went through the lower bracket. So both these teams looking for that very similar lower bracket run now, but only one of them can make it.
It's a very fair point. We'll have to see who's able to come out on top. I mean, Fusion already, I think, exceeding a lot of expectations with their win. If you missed that last series, not the first series, because that was the third series of the day, because we get these damn long days with plenty of action. But yeah, I mean, a 3-1 victory, just looking absolutely incredible by the end of it all. Able to get that win, and something we didn't mention, but on Alarm's birthday of all days, a very great gift for him as well. So really well deserved from them. Now Dynasty and Atlanta Reign going to be looking to do much of the same. So we'll see who is going to be able to dig deep enough, because both squads absolutely have their work cut out for them.
So let's take a look at the Atlanta Reign first and foremost. They lost on day one to the London Spitfire, who themselves actually got eliminated today. And we were obviously there, Seth, covering the Atlanta Reign. It did not look very inspirational from the Atlanta Reign. It felt like they were behind the pace from the London Spitfire the entire time. Couldn't quite match up the Rhine from Hardy. To be fair, no one really has been able to, and now no one will for the rest of this tournament. Ultraviolent OG, I think, uncharacteristically didn't have a great performance. Kai didn't look very good against Sparker either. A lot needed to change from the squad, but they sort of need to change up pace now, because they're not going to be playing a team like the London Spitfire. They're going to be playing against, next to, I guess, Hangzhou Spark's current form, Seoul Dynasty, where this is APAC's best as far as dive goes. I've been saying for some time now that I do believe APAC has much stronger dive teams than what we see in North America, which means for the Atlanta Reign, you got to be prepared for this one. Seoul, they're angry. They're not going to be happy about losing to the Spark, who right now look like, next to the Shanghai Dragons, obviously because they're both still in there, the top two APAC teams. Super scary. But Seoul Dynasty, we've seen what they're capable of. We know they underperform. We know that this isn't them at their true strength. And sure, for the Atlanta Reign, I could probably make that conversation happen as well. So for both teams, it's about the redemption to play up and towards their true form that they've displayed over the course of the rest of the season up until this point.
Well, the Dynasty looking to bounce back. Let's see, Creative not getting his shoulder massage this time around. Maybe, like you said, kind of overworked the shoulders, was a little too loose in that last series. We'll see how he fares here today, but we do have Fitz out the gate alongside Prophet. We'll see if Stalker shows up as we go deeper into the series, or if they say, you know what, let's go with the kind of tried and true duo of Prophets.
And I have a prediction here. I think Fitz is mostly going to end up playing the Sojin, so it might just be a stylistic choice to say, like, okay, well, Stalker started yesterday on the Sojin. We're going to give Fitz that opportunity now. And real quick as well, before we actually get into the match, when I looked at the history between these two teams, would you believe it, they've only ever played each other twice throughout the entire history of the Overwatch League. This is, I think, one of the rarest matchups that we have in the whole league. Find me a matchup between two teams that is equal to or less than 2 total matches played in the history of the Overwatch League. Only 2. Overwatch League 2019, Season 3, Week 2. Overwatch League 2021, Countdown Cup Tournament. Specifically in that Countdown Cup Tournament as well, which is, Hawaii last year, one of the many Hawaii trips that the Reign had made, and the only tournament entry that the Seoul had made last year, because they also didn't make it to the playoffs, remember. Seoul got knocked out of the Countdown Cup without winning a single match. They bowed out 0-2. And now that storyline is still possible here, because they already lost their first match. If they do not beat the Reign, this will be their second international in a row where they bow out 0-2 and don't win anything.
Well, they certainly, that is a fate that they would like to avoid. But Atlanta Reign, like you said, I mean, both of these teams have in the past displayed themselves to be those lower bracket demons, those dark horses who get knocked down early and then manage to make a run through. We'll see if they can do it. As once more, as we take a look at the map set, we are going to be heading into Oasis to kick things off.
I swear, like calling Seoul a dark horse just doesn't feel right. It sounds
it doesn't
dirty.
feel right.
It sounds like it shouldn't be the case. I'm happy to call Atlanta Reign a dark horse because I actually do believe they are one. But Seoul Dynasty are meant to be a favorite here, which is why it's so shocking that they are down in the lower bracket so early. I still think they're probably favored. Atlanta Reign have their work cut out for them, but a team that you can't count out simply because we know how good they have been in previous lower bracket runs. This is definitely the weakest that we've seen Atlanta Reign in some time, though, especially compared to their performance in the kickoff clash, right? And now they're going to have to play the #1 seed from the Eastern Division. It's going to be spicy. Oasis being picked by Seoul Dynasty. This seems like a run-back moment for the Seoul Dynasty. They did actually play this one as... No, I completely lied. They actually played Ilios versus Hangzhou Sparks. So we're actually going to change things up a little bit.
A little bit, you know, change of scenery. Look to avoid the shortcomings from Ilios. As we turn our sights once more to City Center. As the starting round. See how they fare and what these comps look like as we get ready to have the gates unlock in 30 seconds.
Both teams looking like they're coming through on Doom. Now, the thing about Seoul Dynasty is it shouldn't be very difficult for them to read the opening strategies or any strategies out from the Atlanta Reign. They, at this point, should know that Hawk is going to be likely the only tank to be getting any sort of play time here. Is just going to have some fun in Hawaii for now. Hulk is going to be playing mostly Doomfist with a little bit of opportunity to maybe get into... Obviously, a Sigma would be pretty good for him as well. We'll see what happens on Escort. Low chance of also going towards the Rhine and some of the other main tanks, but Smurf will be much more comfortable on those. So, Seoul Dynasty, given that information, they're going to come through with their own Doom. Ana out in the open. It's pretty much going to be a mirror on both ends, except for the Ash for Fitz, and Kai coming through with the Sojin.
Yeah, we saw him hovering the Sojourn at the beginning there for Fitz, but does decide to swap it over. And for now, is having a little bit of pressure applied from Venom, but manages to pull away. Prophet taking the high ground, now dropping down, looking for a target, sending a couple shots. The pulse pistols over towards Hawk. Does now receive that Discord orb, falls down below half HP. Will be sustained for the moment. Smurf gonna find first blood though. Gets in on top of Venom, finishing him off with a melee hit. Now looking for a little bit more. Prophet as well under fire, goes down to 30 HP. Back around, utilizing centerpiece here of the map. Breaks line of sight, keeps himself safe. And now Dynasty going to be looking for the initial cap, but Prophet gets eliminated. Taking down the rail shot from Kai, looking good. Smurf as well, sliver of HP remaining for him, but the healing starts coming through. Creative surging up ahead of Ultraviolet, will manage to keep him sustained as Kai dropped by the Dynamite. And the cap is there. Rain in control for now.
And Seoul Dynasty had a +1 there as well. They actually got 2 frags to Kai's only 1. This is the sort of situation where Seoul were unable to hold on to the cap itself. Nano coming on through now, first ultimate of the game.
The Smurf diving into the back line, and that's going to be both of the supports falling down. So they look for a very fast flip. Kai kind of sliding over into the wall. Buys himself a little bit of extra space with the nade, but Smurf just knows his limitations, knows exactly what he needs to do in order to get the damage output necessary to get a kill.
Yeah.
He does so, the Dynasty get a flip, but now we get a pause.
And we're getting a very early sort of preview of, you know, Smurf, his capabilities, and the breadth of his hero pool as well. I think this is, you know, assuming that he can have a great performance today. Would you say he maybe underperformed versus Hangzhou Spark? Because I felt like the entire Seoul Dynasty were just at the whim of Alpha Yi and Shy on that particular match, so maybe you can say the whole squad didn't look particularly great, but Seoul on their best day, Smurf is a powerhouse. He is basically everybody's ideal kind of like North Star, what you want out of a main tank, just any tank. And I think when you look at the strategy coming through from the Atlanta Reign in terms of their substitution strategy, we're looking at a situation where Brad has publicly said that he wants to put the main focus on Hawk so that they can develop him into a player that can play across the entire tank hero pool, something that Smurf has been the pioneer of so far. So currently, we're still within a situation that, you know, both tanks are comfortable in this matchup. Doom versus Doom, it's all good. Venom, I think, is having some issues technically on his end, so you know, we'll get that one fixed up and see what happens. Atlanta Reign, though, not a bad start to this opening. They have less frags overall. They just lose a fight here, but because they have the opening 26%, it's a slowdown for the Seoul Dynasty. But from here on out, it could get difficult because Seoul Dynasty, once they get in control, we'll see if they ever let them go.
Yeah, and OG is a little bit further ahead of Vindham by 11%, so somewhat negligible, but crucially, the Atlanta Reign will have both of their support ultimates available.
Right.
Creative, obviously, just having used the Nano Boost, so a decent advantage for Atlanta Reign as they do look for the retake here once we can get back into the game. As you can see, Venom just making sure that all of his settings and everything are good to go, and then we should get underway, hopefully.
I want to talk about the OG Vindham sort of matchup here as well, because in my mind, and correct me if you might have a different player in mind, but Vindham to me kind of leads the race in main support players off-rolling towards a flex support like a Zenyatta. And I don't count players like Skewed, by the way, because he's actually a flex support first who off-rolls to a Brig. I'm talking the other way around. Vindham to me has been quite a leader in that regard, so OG... to be fair, Vindham also did kind of play poorly in the opening game versus Hungry Spark, but the normal Vindham that we're used to is very good on the Zen. OG is going to have to step up there as well, because I think both support lines between OG and Ultraviolet creative Vindham didn't look particularly good in their opening games.
Well, once more, our mysterious masked admins leaving the player area, so we should be getting underway in just a bit, but here's a little zoom in on Vindham so far. Obviously, just a single match played, and this is the qualifiers, never mind, not the actual Midseason Madness. I know how to read, but yeah, his stats, very respectable when it comes down to the Zenyatta.
Yeah, 22nd on healing though, but who cares? It's a DPS. You're playing Zenyatta as a DPS.
Yeah.
Healing optional is my policy on that one. So it's all about the tied second for final blows. Love to see it. It's the impact as well. This is the kind of flexibility that teams that don't have the extra support players, like this is not a team that runs 3 support players. This is a team actually just like the Atlanta Reign that only have the 2 support players and require that their main support does flex over. We should be in a situation where we are unpausing very shortly. It seems like Venom's issues are about to be fixed. So as you sort of pointed out here, OG slightly ahead on the ult charge compared to Vindham. Let's see if that ends up mattering.
Yeah, both teams gave the ready. So we go right back into it. Vindham just now respawning. We'll look to steadily rejoin in with the rest of his team as quickly as possible, but Reign do have a small little window of opportunity to get in here and try to find some picks or some skirmish damage. Yep, there it is. Ultraviolet has finished that one off. OG just 14% away from that Transcendence now as Hawk getting beaten and battered. Uses the Meteor Strike to avoid the Pulse Bomb explosion, does keep himself alive, and has to actually takes this very aggressively. And he gets Smurf, he just Goomba stomped the ever-loving hell out of him. Dives into the back, sleep is going to be there from Creative. As the ante goes out of the Prophet, he'll stay alive. As Hawk now still diving forward, has the Nano, he's looking for Creative. Only a light charge up with a punch though, so it doesn't get too much damage dealt, and Vindham on his return finds 2. Hawk and Ultraviolet now going down. Smurf right back into the fray, dives forward, helps Prophet find OG.
3rd overall final blow for Vindham so far. Really cool stuff coming out from Hawk. No fair, diving on top of Smurf. Not going to be a defensive meteor strike, just going to use it offensively to kill Smurf. You love to see something like that. The follow-up nano boost from UV as well to keep Hawk alive, to try and give Atlanta Reign a little bit more to play through. Unfortunately, though, Seoul Dynasty off the back of Vindham, couple of frags, Prophet as well picking up a kill. About 70% now, so quite a significant lead.
Getting into last fight territory here for the Dynasty to be able to close it out. There's a dive into the back. Anti-Nate comes through it. Smurf does not actually exit. He has the Meteor Strike available, but doesn't use it in time. Kai doesn't give him the opportunity. Takes his head off with that rail shot. Still holds on to the overclock. The flip nearly there. Just need to finish clearing out the point. So far has not happened. Dynamite onto Kai. Just taking him down to about half HP. Is okay for now, but Fitz finds Venom. Takes his head off. Overclock popped. Kai looking for some targets. Will find one. That's Fitz at Smurf. A big opening here. Reign still have not gotten this flip through. Prophet kills OG. Kai is taken down. OT now starting to bleed away. Ultraviolet rushes forward. Does get the reset on the overtime, but they need somebody to arrive. And Venom, he has to recall just shy of touching. And even if he had gotten there, it didn't look very great for them overall. So there you go. The Dynasty, they gain control of the point once, and they never lose it. 126% on City Center.
Some good heroics from Kai. Have to give him credit for that one. Pulls the overclock in.
Yeah.
We know Kai Sojin is capable of turning fights around, but playoff P is also going to do that. You're up against Prophet in a situation where you know, backs against the wall as far as the tournament is concerned. Prophet's not going down easy. This guy is something that Atlanta Reign, outside of playing plays like proper from the shock, you're not going to have opportunities to play against the caliber of that skill level. So Seoul Dynasty will, as previously mentioned, once they get control of the point, not ever really give it away. Smurf actually coming through on his own, so they're got to mirror Hawk pretty much the entire way through.
That they are. Garden again. University will be the third and final round if we can make it that far. But yeah, nade was massive. Clipped Kai, clipped OG. No follow-up damage to find the eliminations. Smurf for now. Just challenging up onto the high ground. Spots them. Rotating around the back. It's, however, taken out. Kai with a nice headshot once more. Breaks it down, finds first blood for his squad. The flip, the lockdown is going to be there. Atlanta Reign once more gaining control first and foremost. Now pushing forward. They're looking for some additional kills as well as an energy reset on the Smurf, but he ducks back around the corner, manages to keep it.
This is going to be an interesting matchup as well, because I would have rather normally have expected Smurf to go something like a Winston, maybe a Ball or a Doom here. Playing the Zarya versus Hawk is definitely playing towards his strengths, and well, despite getting a double fire nade, they didn't really press for any sort of map control.
Oh, well, 2 quick kills in reply. Mortality field gone as well as Dynasty want a fast flip once more. That guy nowhere to go, ends up falling. It's going to be 30%. On the side of the Atlanta Reign, as the flip is there. Ultraviolet going so very low. The bubble from Hawk doing just enough to keep him protected.
So first Flex support ultimates are online. It's going to be Window versus the Nano Boost. Nano targets here, well, I mean, most likely going to be onto Smurf, shouldn't it? So the Graviton Surge is going to be online, and they can actually counter it, so there's a grab.
Oh, he just lobs it in, the ante on top of all of it. And as the Immortality Field goes down, the kill is found. It's 1 on the Ultraviolet, but OG, as he swings the corner, Vinheim is there, and the follow-up kills will be found. Prophet now turning back, playing forward, still holds onto the Pulse Bomb, and Dynasty win out the fight.
Ultraviolet now going over towards the Ana, and that's like a perfect counter as well, because what you see is, okay, well, that's going to be an opportunity for Atlanta Reign to at least push on in. But Window comes up, Smurf instantly grabs in. The timing of the grab could not have been a little bit more perfect, so Atlanta Reign will have their opportunity to grab now. They better come in quickly, because Fitz is on his way back.
They have the rally rolling to escort them forward. OG still 17% off of his own. Bob thrown in as Kai looks for some targets. Smurf locked up here into the grab, but managing to stay alive. He didn't have the rail, he had to go for the reload, and that kind of cost him that moment to get the elimination. Coach cut from Fitz will find Ultraviolet. He gets taken down by Kai once more, but Smurf still is absolutely wreaking havoc. Hawk and OG both taken down. Kai trying to slide his way out to safety. He'll be able to stay alive, but Hawk now, knowing that time is not on their side, swaps over onto the Doomfist.
Yep, and the Zen coming through from OG as well, so just going to be changing the comp a little bit further now. Seems like the pace just wasn't there for the Reign, right? You see the early pick onto Fitz, 5 versus 4, and Reign failed to press the advantage, and also Fitz came back, used the bomb, it ends up being a 6v5 because the extra bomb. They kill Fitz again. Can they use this?
Looking for it. Mega pack there for Venom. He stays safe. The flip getting ready to come through from the side of the Atlanta Reign. They will just go ahead and concede this. Dynasty more than happy to give up a little bit of extra time, a little bit of percentage over to the side of the Reign. They know that they have a significant lead.
Yeah, it's what they should have done last time, really, but better late than never. Bionade landing on 2 for the Seoul Dynasty. No ultimates online just yet. Reign struggling to hold on. I mean, they need to find a pick through Kai, ideally. Wait for the Nano.
Down at the back, he's looking for Fitz, but look at the damage in response for Dynasty. Take him down to about half HP. Goes back away. Another anti going forward. Smurf cleanses it, Vinheim. Just waits for it to expire. As the right click's coming through, he's instantly at 100 energy. Looking for a target. Hawk gonna be slept, nanoed up in the back lines. Venom will find a Pulse Bomb stick, but here comes the grab. Slaps it down, OG gonna be the first to fall. Ultraviolet as well, gonna be burnt down by the Dynamite. Smurf will get traded. Fitz falls, and it's going to be the Reign actually managing to hold out. Creative now in a rough position, has to die, but time is not on their side anymore. Dynasty need to get back into this if they want to try to close this out. Otherwise, it's looking like University is on the horizon.
Well, Fitz is going to go, Smurf is going to go over towards the Doom as well to come back quickly. And, well, you also see that Smurf was just trying to trade backlines, knew that his backline was in trouble, but if he can get a successful grab off, receive the Nano and carry, possibly could have been a fight win. Fitz nearly towards the Bob. Hawk on the Meteor Strike should be able to stay alive, but Kai, to be the difference maker on the overclock, could get Atlanta Reign this round.
He's got it ready, the Bob. Almost there for Fitz. Now online, Hawk
98% for Hawk.
Out off the point. Yeah, he ends up falling. Didn't have the Meteor Strike. Smurf moving up into Kai's face. We'd love to push him off the side of the map. Hasn't been able to do so. Now he's getting beaten and battered. Manages to make his exit. The flip starting to come through. Kai finds Fitz once more. Seemingly just has these rail shots magnetized to his skull. But now it's into double overtime on either side with the Dynasty in control. Vinheim falling low, trying to kite back the rally. Nearly there for him. He's about to have it online. Prophet throws at the pulse bomb, doesn't manage to find an elimination. Takes the recall out, stays alive. The rally rolling for Vinheim. Stand up for a brief moment. Transcendence coming through for OG. Cap has it to buy some extra time, and once more the the Rain have now gained control of this point for themselves. Prophet going in, he knows that has to get rid of Kai, but they haven't been able to do it yet. Creative, snipes, finds one. Nano goes out on the Smurf. He goes straight in for Ultraviolet, finds that kill. Hawk gonna be taking a nap. The Transcendence expires from OG, and Fitz manages to find the elimination before getting traded back. And they're zoned off the point, but the flip is there actually in the Rain. They managed to take this one right out from beneath their noses. Hawk gonna be slapping the C9 there in chat. Utterly back and forth between the two teams on a razor's edge. But this will extend us into a third round.
I gotta say that he's not wrong. That technically, to me, is probably a C9. Prophet needed to stay on the point there. Rain actually got the flip a little bit early, about maybe 15 seconds early, so they actually had the cap going the entire way through for the most part. And at that sort of time, and look, Rain knows better than anyone from that C9 on Ilios against Houston, right? If you step off the point for even a second, when we're that deep into OT, the thing disappears instantly, the wick burns out. So Seoul Dynasty, unfortunate mistake there. They looked like they actually had a decent player advantage. Great sleep on Hawk that enabled them to kill the back line. For Seoul Dynasty, everyone went hunting for the frags. Prophet stepped off, and the round is over.
Well, now, last round to settle it and see who starts off this elimination series with a map win under their belt. The comp not being really altered by either side. Still just going to be the Tracers, the Ash versus the Sojourn, which, of course, Kai has been finding an immense amount of value with it, consistently taking down Fitz.
We'll see if Smurf ends up staying on the Zarya as well, because this time Hawk actually starts on the Doom. And the pressure's already on here. Seoul Dynasty trying to make some space happen.
Kai trying to find a kill, but this time Fitz will get the better of him. It's too much damage being applied. Fitz now, however, out in no man's land, will fall down as the pincer comes through. Venom on the one side, Hawk on the other. The kill is there. Vinheim going to be taking a nap, and it's a very rude awakening from Ultraviolet. Sending him back into the respawn room, and once more for the third time now, Atlanta Rain will start things off with the point lockdown.
And Seoul Dynasty kind of feed extra members there when Smurf is already down. You know, Vinheim is still in the mix, dies, in my opinion, unnecessarily. You know, you kind of do have to wait for Smurf. It's very unlikely that they can turn around the fight without him. Prophet at least is very close towards a pulse bomb, so is Venom, to be fair.
Oh, OG. Needing some peel. It does come through.
UVS Nano.
Going to force them back, but Prophet and Venom both about to have these ults online. The pulse bomb's now up, but once more, Kai does find Fitz. Headshot. Great sleep dart. Creative. Helping to keep Smurf safe. So they're going to have that pulse bomb, but the ante is absolutely massive. Manages to find 3, and the cleanup starts coming through. Just the DPS left alive, hovering back over towards the spawn room. The Rain very handedly win out the fight. They hold the point, now cresting 40%.
Yeah, great Nano coming through as well to save Venom and then collect the rest of the kills. You mentioned the Bionades already coming on through. It's a good lead from the Atlanta Rain, similar to what we saw earlier. The Seoul Dynasty starting out on the back foot. It's their turn to Nano. And much harder to access the back line with their sort of nanos, unless you just want a nano Prophet, but most likely it'll go on to Smurf. And you probably won't have that much energy available at this current time, so it needs to build that up again.
Fitz once more, falling down. Stun out into both supports. Pulse bomb there from Venom, not going to find an elimination, but the follow-up is still looking great from the side of the Rain, who continue to just push forward. Creative going to be taken down, and looks like this last round of Oasis might be an absolute wash for the side of the Dynasty, as they cannot find a single kill in the fight.
Well, this is just uncharacteristic from Seoul because they're playing more of a brawl style with the Zarya. Their signature has always been dive, so they're really trying to force the Zarya to work, and Reyna outpacing them at all fronts. They're able to consistently get these fights in when Seoul Dynasty haven't had any ground to make. 90% left to go, and a bunch of members on Seoul still looking for their first ultimates. Again, the Nano is online, and they need that to be able to push on in.
Prophet trying to pressure out in the back lines. Rally rolling from Vinheim. OG holding on to the Transcendence. Nano at the ready. Creative not using it yet. The grab gets thrown in, but he's just pushing. He used the Nano now. Smurf taking down Fitz. So very low. The stun out onto everybody, and no one can make it to the point. Absolutely clean in the final round. Atlanta Rain looking very much alive. Great shutdowns consistently onto FitzKai, just making sure that Dynasty were basically operating as a four-man squad this entire way through. They closed it out very nicely, and they start this series off with a win.
I think competitive on both ends when you look at the first two rounds, but once we got to University, you're just left wanting look at the Seoul Dynasty, because if you've watched the Seoul Dynasty before, you know, again, specialty is going to be dive here. The Zarya composition, so slow for them, completely outpaced. They never got a fight if they wanted creative, waiting so long to nano. Ends up nanoing Vindame, half the team's already dead. You're just not going to get a fight when doing that. They had no opportunity to even get on the point to start a fight. That just isn't Seoul Dynasty to me. What they're doing here on this map, and particularly on the University, is so outside of their normal style, it doesn't make sense.
Wow. A rough start once more for the side of the Dynasty. Looked great, you know, at times there, especially that first round. Managing the Atlanta Reign with relative ease, but Reign very much focused in those last two. Clapped back. Now they start things off with a right foot forward. A map win under their belt. See what happens. So once more, the Dynasty going to be having their map pick as we set our sights forward to Hybrid. We'll see what they land on, where they want to take us, and whether or not it's going to be good enough to tie this series up 1-1. Again, an elimination match, a must-win for both these teams. See who can get it done when we return.
2 shots, dead in the ground. We ain't the same, pull up. 3 rounds, bro, you done. We let it rain, head pop. So look out when we in the zone. Don't play around. I got a strap, put to your back. Tell you now, we laying it down. Yeah, bands up, trapped out. I bring the dogs, gang out. Look. Don't wanna fade and drop out, got no clout. Think smart, this crucial. We ain't no average usual. Nah, we let it rain, ain't seen a savage who you.
And welcome back. The Atlanta Reign starting things off nicely with a win on Dynasty's map pick of Oasis. Came in as a higher seeded team, elected to go there for control, and they fall shy of the mark. They're stepping off the point in the second round and not really being able to do a damn thing on University. Well, they once more have a map pick at their disposal, but can they make use of it? That is the question.
Things look as normal for the Seoul Dynasty on the opening city center, right? But after that is when things start to really get awry. And Atlanta Reign really kind of showing their capability, especially on that University. Like I said, it was a bit of a weird look from Seoul Dynasty, in my opinion. Fitz also kind of having a bit of a rough time versus Kai, after Kai definitely warmed up over the course of the entire 3 rounds of Oasis. So it's time to see what Stalker can do instead as we head into our hybrid map. Nero also coming in for Venom, as you would normally expect for the Atlanta Reign. Venom mostly only just plays the opening controls, and Nero will take care of the rest as we move through the series.
Yep, which was kind of what we had initially with Stalker, but now he's going to be coming through for the second map with Fitz stepping away. And it's you don't want to point fingers and be like, this was the problem, but Fitz had such a rough time with Kai just regularly being able to take him down. Even by the end there on University, Venom was getting his hands dirty in dealing with Fitz. I want to see how Stalker does fare, whether or not his swap out is going to be good enough for them to be able to get a win on our next map. Here's the stats from Kai on Oasis, though. Man was putting up numbers. I'd love to see how many of these final blows were against Fitz, because it feels like just about all of them were.
Well, he certainly was the final blow leader across the board for both teams here. 15. The next highest was Venom on 10. And then finally, I believe it was Smurf on 9. So if you're curious to where Fitz is, because I've named 3 players and Fitz hasn't been on the list yet, he was actually the one afterwards, coming through on 8. But that is basically half of what Kai had as well, with double the deaths as well. Kai had 6 deaths, Fitz had 12 deaths. So to say that he definitely struggled in that matchup is, I would say, it's pretty accurate. Kai definitely towards the end. I think Kai maybe didn't really have that matchup under lock until we got to the second round. But from there, yeah, it was definitely mostly Kai in for the Seoul Dynasty. Now, an opportunity for the young Stalker to come on in, the rookie on the Sojin, as in previous games that we had kind of noted, top Sojins of the Eastern region. Stalker had been at the top of that list for a while, next to players like Shy, and then eventually Lip that also got there as well. But I think Stalker's performance on their opening match versus Hangzhou Spark left a bit to be desired, because Shy definitely handled them. That was not a normal day for Stalker. He would normally be able to compete against Shy much more evenly. He's going to have to play much better now versus a player like Kai, which we know traditionally has been basically the top North American Sojin.
Well, we should be getting ready to go into our second map here in just a moment, as the players have gotten settled. Substitutions. Quick minor issue there for Nero as well, but everything should be taken care of. We should be able to get things underway. I mean, I was going to say it's been 5 maps the whole way through, but that's not the case, actually. Fusion got a 3-1. My memory already starting to fade, I guess, from that series.
It felt long.
Like it was a hell of a lot longer than it was.
We got like 6 points on King's Row, speaking of which, it's going to be our next map. It was a super long King's Row, right? So it did feel like a potential 5-mapper. Also, Route 66 took years off my life, so it just added to the length in a way, even though that was a short map. King's Row being the choice of Seoul Dynasty is an interesting one. To me, Eichenwalde would have been an obvious choice. It's a little bit more dive favored, but Seoul Dynasty, especially on Oasis, seem to have been kind of shying away from the dive outside of the initial Doom pick for Smurf. So question mark will be on what does Seoul Dynasty want to play with here. We've seen kind of Smurf play through a entire gamut of different heroes, Sigma being one of them. He's obviously played the Winston here as well. So starting out on something that Hawk should actually be pretty comfortable on. We'll have to see if Atlanta Reign want to maybe think about matching this one once they see the composition out from the Seoul Dynasty. Because I'm sure Hawk would love to get into a Sigma 1v1.
Well, certainly. It was a bit of a weak point, at least at the early days for Smurf. Once we started seeing Sigma kind of fall into the meta a little bit more, but is drastically improved it since then. We'll see though. For now, Kai just going to be waiting, going for an initial shot with the Widowmaker. Nero looking like he's going to be coming out the gates with the Genji.
One other thing,
if you can find any value. Nope.
Is that I think Hawk has definitely struggled a little bit on the main tanks like the Rhine and the Winston as well. Those are Gators here, right? So given the chance, maybe Hawk will think about what he can do in this particular matchup. For now, though, it does look like they want to play just a standard dive here. Winston, the Nano will be there as well. Nero on towards the Genji. So no cause for concern in terms of changing things up. Already gone towards the point. Seoul Dynasty need to respond.
I like the way that they play that. They try to contest the high ground with Nero, force out the accretion, and the Winston comes through, but Kai does get taken down right off the rip. Vinham back over onto the Zenyatta. Continuing to find some nice value. Push around the corner. Stun not going to connect. Anti goes out onto Smurf, and he's just going to go ahead and back float away from the Winston.
He's been taking a bit of heat from Ultraviolet so far. He's been eating Byron nades and asleep a little bit early on there as well. Could have led to his death. Atlanta Rain looking for that first tick. Will find it. Seoul Dynasty, no contest for that.
Once more challenging the high ground. Gonna force Smurf's position. Would love to get him down onto the ground, but
Nano's coming.
Far, Dynasty not feeling the need. Nano, as you say, about to be up for both sides. Creative and Ultraviolet fairly neck and neck. A little bit closer here for Ultraviolet. Continues to spam. Now has it ready to go. Nero, in the meantime, antied out, down to half HP. The Nano goes forward. Looks to pressure them out in the hallway. Halfway now to that second tick as Smurf is completely on an island. They manage to segregate the rest of the Dynasty away from the tank. They find the kill. Stalker pushing out, does manage to find Nero, but somebody's gonna have to contest here pretty darn soon. Prophet moving forward, pulse pump built up, finds OG. Stalker up over the top of the statue, gets one, and Ultraviolet's got nowhere to go. Tucked into the corner, but there's no health pack. There is no saving him. He ends up going down. That's half the time bank, but 2 ticks established for the Rain.
Yeah, Creative actually didn't have the Nano to save Smurf there. I think he was maybe 1% off, so the finest of margins to keeping Smurf alive. Unlike the end of Oasis, their Creative will definitely use this Nano in a timely fashion. Puts on the Stalker, who will make very good use of that one, alongside Prophet to collect the kills necessary. And now they have further ultimates coming online, including Flux and Overclock to deal with the Atlanta Rain. Kai actually kind of struggling to keep up with the ultimate charge, but the rest of the players are coming up.
So far, out in the lead right now is Stalker. Now he's gonna pop it. Smurf desperately looking for a target, does find OG on the back end, and the primary fire will finish him off. Stalker in the meantime comes up with 2 with the overclock. He's looking for a little bit more as Nero is the last one standing, and he cannot escape. Will end up falling, and there's a team kill. Dynasty holding firm, but still have to wait for some of these respawns to rejoin.
So it's an expensive fight for Seoul Dynasty though. 2 ultimates traded for only the 1. And important ultimates for Rain coming online. Still waiting for Kai to get that overclock. She's quite significantly behind Stalker, to be honest with you. Comes down to the transfer of Vindane. Prophet has to be the one to make a play here, because otherwise Seoul don't really have anything to open with.
60 seconds.
Trance v Trance is going to be available here once one of these Zenyatas get picked. OG about to have his just a little bit sooner. Dive coming through. There's the blade pull. Prophet, Creative, and Smurf. Everybody going down. Just so much damage there in the hallway. The kills come through. Vinham very wisely knowing that Pop in the Transcendent's not going to do a damn thing. Holds on to it. Smurf now going to be swapping over to the Winston to match. And it's just over 3 minutes for Rain in the time bank.
And it's 3 separate kills, and I think in mostly 3 separate areas as well, so almost impossible for Vindame to do much about it. Even if he pops the trance, he'll save 1, 2 members at best. A third one is guaranteed to go down. They will be playing at a deficit. But this is more along the lines of the Seoul Dynasty that we're used to. Smurf going back over towards his trademark Winston, playing the dive alongside Prophet's Tracer. So that has been the dynamic duo for the Seoul Dynasty that has gotten them a lot of distance over in the regular season.
Already quite a forward push here from the side of the Rain, wanting to keep the Dynasty at arm's length, make sure that they cannot get established over by the archway. They can try to lock that payload through, so have been able to break through. As Nano goes out onto Smurf. Nade coming down, Smurf just pushing forward, forces the Transcendence out. Vinham found Hawk. I believe was also just trying to duke it out and break down the back lines of the side of the Seoul Dynasty. It does not work out. Now the transition that's going to be used from Vinham as they go charging forward.
Kai in the pressure.
Further eliminations. The chase is there. Kai taken down. Prophet able to just double up alongside Smurf. They get the kill. They get Nero, who was taking an after the back lines. Dynasty will be able to halt the cart.
Amazingly well played by Creative, especially there. You see the Nano coming through onto Smurf to start things out, but he actually shuts down Hawk because there was a bio nade placed on the Hawk. It meant that no Atlanta Reign members could do anything to help him stay up. Smurf's still alive. He's able to shut down Kai, just get in his face, and Kai can't get this overclock to really find any value for the Atlanta Reign. So now they're freshly out of ultimates, waiting for at least a Primal Rage to come up. Seoul Dynasty have drawn a line in the sand.
Yep, Smurf has gotten on pace after that last fight, basically alongside Hawk for the Primal Range. Just catching up despite the late swap. OG, oh no! Oh, in the hell, he's out in the middle of nowhere. Prophet scoops that, lobs in the stick, gets Hawk as well. He looks for the final shot there on De Niro, and Stalker will be able to claim those, but I mean, OG just out in the middle of nowhere gets punished.
And Prophet will just find the perfect play to take down in the alleyways as well. Doing his best Jack the Ripper impression or something in the streets of London as the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, that's going to really make things difficult for the Atlanta Reign's further attack attempts. 45 seconds remaining. Seoul Dynasty still plenty to play through. Waiting for the next play to come on in, but UV has no nano boost. This one's going to have to be a dry blade from Nero.
Hawk just taking that high ground position there for just a brief moment. Smurf does find him. Primal v Primal at the ready. Blade about to be up for Nero. No Transcendence to mitigate that damage from Vinham yet. Well, that's a good amount of catching up to do in that regard. 33% off. As for now, Atlanta Reign is poking and prodding, looking and hoping for a pick. Hawk going to be taking a nap over by the car. Wakes up. There's the Primal. The support's kind of zoned out away from the rest of the squad. They need some peel. He's knocking him down into the tube. Creative getting juggled around, but somehow not dying. The trance is there from Vinham. Do keep him alive. We're falling lower and lower, but now OG gonna be, he gets his head taken off. Stalker fights both supports. The blade gets pulled, but Nero's instantly down to 48, and there's the shot from Stalker. Absolutely goes nuclear. Finds 3 in the fight, and there it is. So the OT bleeding away. One bell swoop, a great start overall for the side of the Atlanta Reign. And that initial push out, but as soon as the Dynasty gain control of the cart, they do not release it at all.
It's an insane couple of pickups from Stalker as well. The young kid just coming on in, deleting OG and Ultraviolet. 2 rookies on the side of the Atlanta Reign, but that was Trance denied. It was Nano denied as well. You're probably asking, well, what was going on with the Reign? Were they not meant to pull a dry blade? Should they not have gone earlier? They actually wanted to wait for the Nano. Ultraviolet was sitting around, I think, 84, 85%. For the Atlanta Reign, they're thinking, well, final fight is definitely upon us. We could pull the blade, but if we kind of just play this out a little bit longer, try and really stall out the fight, we're going to be able to use double support ultimates, actually get a nano blade and go in. Seoul Dynasty cut that plan in half. They had the tempo on their side. This is what I'm talking about, why it's so different to what that look onto University. Seoul Dynasty on a dive, able to be so much more aggressive, able to take the game within their own hands. You'll see it here again. OG had no chance. Ultraviolet, because he was booped into, I guess, the tunnels there, could not see Nero, could not see anybody to use a nano, and both OG and Ultraviolet are going to end up dying and ending their fight without using their ults.
Well, saw it right there, an immaculate final fight from Stalker. Both supports just stuck down inside of the tube. They get cleaned up with relative ease. Now the Dynasty have a win condition to play off of to try to tie up this series. Last second flip arounds here. As Prophet not actually going to go for the shot, just swaps off the Widow straight into the Genji.
There's no one there, so fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of Seoul Dynasty walked out. I was like, no one's here. You can just swap off, it's fine. We'll be able to spot Hawk very briefly. Proper Genji as well, so haven't seen a lot of that this stage so far. Obviously, it was a big factor to kick off Clash, but for the most part, Prophet's just been playing Tracer in the Midseason Madness qualifiers.
Spots Nero, has the Mega Pack to play off of, grabs that for himself. Oh, we had a little bit of a wet noodle fight between
Stalker
the two
again.
But Stalker once more finds an opening kill. He gets Kai as well. Stalker is looking to dip him. Vinham and Prophet will go down, however, so it's going to be a 2 for 2. No progress being found on the point just yet. They will start inching their way forward, but Hawk is still around to keep this contested. He's looking for the rail shot, catches OG in the chest. Not the headshot that he so desperately wanted. So the Dynasty just going to have to go for a bit of a brief reset.
Oh, just making OG skip a heartbeat, though. That was a shot that connects regardless. Hawk now eats a bio nade. Possibly will go down. They're trying to get Stalker. They'll get him. It is a trade, though.
Yep, Makai's taking out Vinheim. Comes up with 2. Both DPS dead to the Zenyatta's headshots. And the supports are now contained back through the archway. The point cap coming through for the side of the Dynasty. They can go for maybe a last-second contest here, as the second tick is just about to come in. Hero returning. Trying to get into a position. Hawk makes his way through, and yeah, they're going to try to fight for this one. See if it works out. Nano Boost starts things off. Vinheim taken down. Massive kills already found for the side of the Atlanta Reign. So yeah, the go button, the Nano Boost, it does wonders for them. They stave off the Dynasty for a bit longer.
And that all comes down to the fact that Ultraviolet kept OG alive in the corner there as well, because you did see in a previous fight towards the end, Smurf diving very deep towards the bookstore to try and chase down OG, was discorded by Vinheim as well, but he backs off. He didn't have the support on no zone side. He didn't want to overcommit and get slept. Had they actually killed OG though, that would have been a different situation. I don't think Atlanta Reign could have retaken.
Prophet again, falling low. Being able to do nothing to mitigate the damage coming out from the wind stand. And now the kills just continue to spill forth. Nero finding 2 of them. The team wipe. Now 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining on the side of the Dynasty.
That's significant because this is a situation where Seoul Dynasty are very likely to have to spend here. The Nano is already gone. They're about 4 ultimates.
Yeah.
Time is going to be factored. Now, the good news for Seoul is they don't have to finish the map here. Only the 1 point for Atlanta Reign. So partway through B is the target for Seoul. Their ability to snowball is going to be impacted if they spend too many ults here. And I think Atlanta Reign, they're going to force it.
Oh, Nero, though, looking to be slinking around the back. He has not been scouted yet. Looks like they finally do turn to the side. Check their corners. Spot him out. Pulse bomb at the ready. Nero could absolutely shut down this push once more. And now we're getting ready to dip below a minute. Overclock, however, pop from Stalker, and he immediately finds Kai. Looks for Nero as well. Moves forward. Pops the recall. Has not used that pulse bomb yet. Hawk goes in. He has a 2-for-1 special and a melee hit. Gets the kill. First on the Vinheim, then follows up for another. Pulse bomb slap down. Nero not going to be able to find a kill, though, and Creative will just be able to spam him out off the back of the anti-nade. Made up this fall in his dying breath.
Kai did again.
Sleep out onto Hawk and goes sleeping forward. And yeah, as you say, Kai has just not really been able to play too much Overwatch on this map. In the meantime, the point was capped, and now it's 3 minutes here for the Dynasty to try to push forward, still holding on to 2 ults.
There's 3 ultimates burned there by the Seoul Dynasty. You see that Hawk coming on in did have a lot of impact and trying to hold on to that point, especially off the back of UV popping the Nano as well. But Kai being dead straight away twice, I mean, you have a situation where just Stalker kills him, Kai returns from spawn, and Prophet kills him as he comes back in. So didn't really get to play the game there. Nero gets outplayed by Creative as well, who also sleeps Hawk. So Creative did a lot of work on that offense. Speaking of work, cut out for the Seoul Dynasty. They lost a lot of time on A. 2 ultimates available, and Atlanta Reign are building back on for more defensive. Atlanta Reign reset Seoul again. Atlanta Reign put themselves into a position to win this map.
Smurf just trying to play sneakily here. Drops down. Hawk down about half HP. Does have that Primal Rage to rely on should he fall low. Golden box to victory, getting ever closer here for the Dynasty. They're looking to finish it. Hawk goes on the offensive, forces the trance out immediately. Blade now going to be pulled. He's looking for OG. The trance comes through in reply. Prophet not really going to be able to find too much value here. And in fact, he goes down. So much damage coming through from Hawk, from Nero. They get the elimination. Vinheim is only able to get OG at the end of it all. Smurf will just get cleaned up here. Dynasty are once more going to have to reset and go again.
Yeah, this is disastrous now for the Seoul Dynasty because this is the position where Atlanta Reign can actually set up defensive positions. They can have flanks as well. Look at Nero. He'll be looking towards the back line. And for Seoul Dynasty, the snowball has been impacted. This is a kind of flow-on effect from A. You know, they had to spend ultimates to just get A done. They have limited ultimates to play through for B, limited time as well because they really couldn't cap A with any sort of efficiency. Creative did not have Nano for the previous fight, which could have been a big difference maker. They'll have it now, but I guess they'll just have to go on to maybe even Stalker if they can just wait a little bit longer, but no, Smurf first.
It goes to Smurf and OG falls. Prophet this time finding his target with the swap over onto the Tracer. Nano out onto Kai. Challenge there from Smurf, moves up to the high ground, gets woken up off the back of the sleep dart. Now he's in the back lines, punishing Ultraviolet for putting him to bed. The cart moving forward, Nero dashing up, manages to keep it contested for just a brief moment, but the overclock is there. Stalker gets the kill, the push comes through, and the Dynasty, they tie it up 1-1.
Big players coming in. Smurf straight towards the back line. Nano being popped in. Ends up working out perfectly for Smurf. He had the Primal to play through there as well, so the survivability on Smurf to be able to make space for the rest of his team, brilliant stuff. Stalker was on 80% towards the overclock, found it during that fight. That's exactly what you want to see. So Atlanta Reign, good effort, I think, on that A initially to burn down the timer and maybe even potentially get that full hold, which I think would have been definitely the death knell for the Seoul Dynasty. 2-0 would have been amazing for the Atlanta Reign, but we expected the Seoul Dynasty to be able to bounce back like this. I don't think they would have gone down quietly versus a team like the Atlanta Reign, so 1-1 it is.
And that it is. We'll see if there's going to be any swaps, though, depending on what escort map we end up with. Saw the Route 66 in the previous series. Could it be the Circuit Royale? I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see what Atlanta Reign wants to try to take us to, and what the flow-on effect is going to be for the rosters. See if there's any changes. See what map we have at our disposal. But for now, we are tied up 1-1. The Dynasty able to fight back on King's Row. We'll see who can take the lead, move it up the match point of the next map when we come back from the break. And we are back. Everything tied up now 1-1, and a lot of it is to do with this guy right here on your screen. Stalker coming in from map number 2 and looked absolutely fantastic on King's Row.
Which is exactly what Seoul Dynasty needed, especially considering that Stalker didn't play particularly well versus Shy in their opening matchup versus the Hangzhou Spark, but now versus Atlanta Reign. Fitz, who had a trouble dealing with Kai on Oasis, Stalker wasn't going to be falling for the same shenanigans here. In fact, it feels like opposite day on King's Row. As noted, statistically, Kai had just about double the amount of kills as Fitz and half the amount of deaths. Here, Stalker, as we see on the stat card, 19 final blows to, wait for it, Kai only 4. So quite a significant difference in the amount of output in terms of actual final blows. And as far as deaths goes, pretty similar to the difference between Kai and Fitz on Oasis. Kai on 11, Stalker on 6, so just about half there, nearly. You're probably wondering why Fitz is in now over Stalker, considering that difference. Well, it's because we are going to Circuit Royale, which I think is a brilliant map pick for the Atlanta Reign. They definitely have this over the London Spitfire in the initial matchup. They were very good versus the London Spitfire, namely because of Kai's difference maker on the Widowmaker. So why is Fitz in? Because Fitz is the dedicated Widowmaker player for the Seoul Dynasty. Stalker, he's playing the Sojin. That's kind of his role in the team currently, and Seoul Dynasty placed their belief in Fitz for their Widow.
That they do, and I mean, he's delivered impeccable moments for us in the past. Just hopefully, for his sake, is able to shake off that first map where he got hard diffed by Kai, and with a slightly different matchup, moving away from the Ashe into the Widow properly, maybe he can find some success. We'll have to just wait and see, though, as the Atlanta Reign will be first on the defense. You get to see Kai, he's got the Widow in hand.
And I'm interested in what Prophet is going to play. I think mostly in the past he's gone towards the Hanzo here. In my opinion, the best thing to do on a map like this in terms of DPS lineups, you should be playing 2 out of the following 3 heroes. Between Widowmaker, Hanzo, and Sojin, you should be having 2 of them. If you only have 1 of them, it doesn't feel good. If you have none of them, you need to readdress what you're doing on this map. Like, you have to ask yourself what it is that you're trying to achieve here, because the meta dictates that you should be playing 2 out of those 3. Genji has been seen somewhat. Some teams do play towards that. If you are going to be playing the Genji, you're looking to get very aggressive in this kind of matchup, whereas playing anything else would mean that you want to be playing mostly for the poke. So being that the Genji is going to come through, they at least still have the Widowmaker. Prophet's going to go over the top. Pretty standard stuff. No one's going to play forward. This play, by the way, that Prophet just did doesn't catch anyone out anymore because the defense is usually around the corner.
Yep. Well, that they are. Kai just sat right here on the ground, not hiding behind statue or anything. Just found Fitz. Early shutdown. A great start for the side of the Atlanta Reign here on this defense. Prophet very much going to have to be the one to get on top of that Widowmaker, try to get the punish.
Well, we're about to get a shield fight coming through, but Prophet doesn't have as good of a long-range pokes kind of hero, so this is where Atlanta Reign can get an advantage. Nero playing this Hanzo means that when we get into the actual shield fight, Nero can really do a lot here, provided he does hit the shots. And there it is, he does hit them.
Yep, he had the recon arrow out. Fitz not playing back, stays in that position. He gets a perfect little shot right through the blades of grass. Fitz goes down once more.
That's the standard
23%.
Standard Hanzo position as well. Everyone sort of plays that spot. Prophet's also played that spot defensively also. So everyone should know about the fact that Nero is going to be found there. So Fitz is going to go hunting here. We go. Prophet's going to dive in as well.
That he does. I mean, they're throwing everything right now at Nero to try to displace him. The Discord Orb out onto the Hanzo as well. Immortality Field used by Ultraviolet just to keep him in the fight. They do take that down as Fitz falls low, 20 HP. Somebody's got to give him some healing. Kai gets Prophet now. Infrasight already up. I mean, you can see Fitz, he's got 37% ult charge, and widely, that's just been natural charge. He hasn't been hitting too many shots. That's just the steady tick up. Hawk will find 3. Creative.
So
looking for the reset, we'll find 1.
I'm going to point this out. You want to talk about a diff? Here's a stat card for you. Kai, 2 final blows. That's fine. Fitz, obviously 0 final blows. Here's the kicker, though. Kai currently sitting on 2,050 damage on Widowmaker. Fitz, 190. Not even 200. He hasn't even done enough damage to kill a single 200 HP play. He's on 190 damage.
I was going to say, let me guess before you said it. I was going to say 215, so I wasn't that far off.
You would have been 25 off, yeah. So Fitz has done literally kind of nothing at the moment. He needs to really be able to start hitting some shots.
Smurf popping the flux, catches, what, 3-4 people there. Immortality Field, however, is at the ready. Hawk does get taken down in the chaos. Fitz nailing the headshot. Now OG going to crumble, so that will be the point A, snatched up to the side of the Seoul Dynasty. So 2.5 minutes going to be added to the time bank as they look for some additional kills for some stagger here.
Yep.
As well as maybe
there we go.
potential split spawns.
Fitz just did about 900 damage in the space of that one fight. He's now up to 1100. So 2 kills, 3 final blows, and a lot more damage output as they start winning that fight. Blow the doors wide open. Vindane mostly solo pushing here. So to see how much distance they can get and how far we can get the snowball going. Double infra sights being popped, so bit of a stall moment here as both teams will wait this out. Or maybe they won't.
Oh, well.
Maybe Smurf will just...
No, they will not, apparently. Smurf finding an advantage. Does get tagged low, though. The headshot coming across. Discord orb out. Goes down below half HP. Every side's about to expire from either side. Then we go right back into a more neutral fight, but Prophet dead off the rip this time around as Nero rejoins in with the rest of the team.
You need to wait for Fitz to come back here as well. Sorry, not Fitz. Prophet to come back in. Fitz is already there, but once Prophet returns, Blade has to be on call, and this Blade needs to be popping OG's Transcendence such that it'll give Smurf a free flux later on.
There's the Dragon Strike, chucks through, forces Creative forward. Still safe though, they have the projected barrier. Hugs behind that, as well as the architecture of the map. Keeps himself safe. Now the window is going to be invested. Fitz looking for the pop shot. Flux coming through. Smurf already dead. Kai finds that shot. Grecian gets the stun of the Binham. Transcendence used by Creative. They just have to back away though. They're using the ult to escape. Now the Atlanta Reign, they're pushing forward. They're looking for these kills.
Oh,
Fitz will find one. Blade pulled, but Prophet's just dead. OG strikes him down. Kai gets Creative. And he will find OG, finds Nero. Suddenly, young rookie on the Dynasty. Looking to drag this back, spare themselves some blushes in the fight, but they still
only have
to wait to... Well, that they do. Cart's still slowly inching forward, and they've got enough people now to the Reign to go ahead and keep this contested, so it's not just going to be a free cap.
Smurf has to ult here. This is where you've got to counter this ultimate if you can. Okay, well, Seoul Dynasty, I guess they back out because their players aren't there. That's one way of countering it. You just kind of walk away from the window. It's if they really wanted to take the space, but you sort of see in that situation, part of the reason why Seoul can't push up despite there being only 2 Atlanta Reign members is because their own members are still respawning. That's going to be a solo catch. The Hawk, who's still alive.
Yeah, Flux only found one. I think he actually did like a 360 while he was in midair. Either way, still alive. Sight for sight once more between the Widowmakers. Looking for some targets. Hawk continuing to get beaten lower and lower. Immortality Field finding an immense amount of value thrown down around the corner, so they haven't been able to clear it out. Smurf eventually does get on top of him though. Finds the kill, and the cap is going to be there. They were just a sliver away. Finally do get it. It's going to be 2.5 minutes now as the team kill is there. Dynasty on the final stretch of the map. The question is, can they finish?
Yeah, the time is, you know, it's getting a little bit low here, and Circuit Royale can be quite difficult to finish. We've actually seen a decent amount of Circuit Royale finishes more lately, so teams are getting a better hang of the attacking phase, especially when you can try and snowball a little bit towards the pool. This pool control is going to be super important. Seoul Dynasty, payload has not moved up far enough that the rest of their 4 members can actually push up, so they'll just give away most of the pool control for now, but they need some sort of ult to actually fight for it. Vindane would love to use the window. Eventually he will, but Nero's saving this dragon for it. So as soon as the window comes down, Nero's going to counter the dragon.
Cart just being moved forward. Prophet having that be his job. Rounds the final corner. Fitz goes on the hunt. Spots Kai, but Kai spots him just a little bit faster. Headshot flies across. Fitz back to the respawn room once more.
Fitz might change as well. This is not a good point for Widowmaker offensively. Far more advantageous for the defense of Widowmaker. A lot of Widowmakers on attack here end up going towards the Sojin. Or in the case of MN3, he actually goes towards the Genji, but that's because Zed is on something else. Prophet's already got the Genji though, and Fitz doesn't normally play that, so we'll have to see what happens. Fitz will for now stay on it. This is going to be the big push. Oh, what is that? Hello?
Yeah, I mean, a huge amount of damage from Creative. He might not be the ones finding the kill, but he certainly helps set him up. Nero and OG both just evaporating in the blink of an eye. Now the window going to be used. Nero just now respawning, so wasn't there to try to force their position. The Dragon Strike going to be coming in on the back end. Dynasty just waiting it out, pushing in past the pool, continuing to try to keep this high ground contested.
But it's played.
11% away from having the flux.
Halo's still pushing, by the way, so they have the pool control. Prophet's on the ground. Atlanta Reign have to put out 2 fires at the same time.
The Dragon Blade at the ready. Prophet again, falling low. Transcendence is there, however, this time Creative escorting him forward. Kai gets Vinheim, Smurf taken down before he can use the Flux. It's a big trade up here for the side of the Atlanta Reign, only losing out on their Hanzo. They've got the faster runbacks. Fitz, however, evens it out just a little bit more, taking down Ultraviolet. Vinheim now swapping over to the Lucio just to try to rejoin a little bit faster, and Prophet eventually gets that shot through across onto Kai. Dives in, OG falling lower and lower. He's forced back into the spawn room. Cart held, Vinheim there, gets the touch. Hawk pulled up into the air. Cart still contested. Nero jumps forward on the Tracer, making sure that it's still contested while their tank is up in the skies. Smurf going to be taking down, Vinheim falling. Yeah, as you say, it's looking so very likely, and the OT will bleed down. So right in front of Point C is as far as it goes for the side of the Dynasty. The win condition is there for the Atlanta Reign if they can finish the map.
So big from Kai towards the end there, getting important frags. I mean, Smurf not being allowed to use his Flux on the final fight, having to respawn, come back in and attempt I guess a hero Flux. It's just really not the same. Seoul Dynasty, if they can't quite get across the line with both a Blade and a Flux, then the respawn advantage of the Reign, especially OT, was going to overpower them. They killed Kai, sure, but they ran out of resources. Kai will respawn. Atlanta Reign have more members. Hawk's going to be able to survive against the Flux, given that the rest of his team has arrived, has the Kinetic Grasp available to avoid a bunch of damage despite being slammed down. Atlanta Reign will mostly be fine, but Seoul Dynasty made it very far, given the fact that they did this crazy wide swing up the stairs towards the pool. 2 frags straight away. Nero dies, so, well, Seoul Dynasty lose, I'm trying to remember who exactly died. Seoul Dynasty lose 2 straight away. And it's an incredibly rough situation for the Atlanta Reign. That was almost strange how 2 players instantly died in that way. You would have imagined that Atlanta Reign would have been able to hold the angle. They would have had the initial damage output. They certainly had the ultimates, but couldn't use them until they respawned.
Well, now Dynasty going to be needing a strong defense here. Fitz, once more, having a rough go of it. See how he fares with those defensive sight lines. Should be an advantage for him, but Kai's been on a bit of a tear.
Fitz has started to catch up a little bit. Current tally for final blows is 7 for Kai, 5 for Fitz, so we're not talking about a monumental gap anymore. Kai definitely still has the better of Fitz, but it is at least slightly closer.
Well, great start as Creative gets Hawk. Not exactly certain how that one happened, but either way, Dynasty not going to question it too much. Just be grateful for it. Yeah. Like you said, it's a DPS. Vinheim was showing that earlier. Now Creative's doing it.
Okay.
And Prop's dead.
Well, it took a
what a casual headshot.
It took them so long to dislodge Nero from that same position, but Nero just destroys Prophet. So the Hanzo position behind the statue instantly taken away.
Hey, it wasn't even behind the statue. It was behind the barrier on the street itself. He was so much further forward, so much less cover, and just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Great shots, though. 2 for 1. Prophet hitting the chest shot with the arrow into Fitz, finding one as well, and there you go. The heat up. Seems like it's working well. Finds another. Jump up, tries to get the headshot on the Ultraviolet. Can't quite get that punish for an additional stagger. The rest of the Reign being able to pull away is good for them as Ultraviolet narrowly survives the forward push from Smurf.
Tell you what,
they maintain control of the cart in the corner.
Sometimes you just need those defensive sight lines on the Widowmaker, right? Attacking Widowmaker, you kind of need your team to build space for you first to get those angles. Otherwise, all you can really hope for are those hook shots. Defensively, Spitz has a lot more space to play through, but as we talk about building space, Hulk pushing up, that's going to give Kai more to use.
Spitz again.
Flux available.
Shot not going to connect. Flux looking decent. He does manage to get the catch onto 3. The Immortality Field not there for Kai. It's dropped down. Dead once more. Ultraviolet stunned up by the accretion. As they push forward, the Immortality Field here keeping Dynasty alive into the fight as Fitz finds another kill. This time Ultraviolet does go down. The Hawk will get punished at the front lines. 1 minute and 47 seconds now remaining for the Reign. 3 ults nearly there for them. Need to utilize them.
Yeah, this is, I think, the difference between defensive sniping and offensive sniping. Fitz has now overtaken Kai, both in final blows and in damage, not by a significant amount, by about 100 damage in 2 final blows. But Kai definitely not able to find the same value attacking as defending, which is, I think, similar to what we saw when Kai was defending and Fitz was attacking. Still 3 ultimates online for Seoul, 4 soon, including Creative with that Transcendence. Looking for Kai to maybe, or rather Hawk to maybe open up this fight with the Flux.
To jump across, OG taking the shot at the chest. Would have been catastrophic had he fallen there. Same with Kai. Again, just shot in the chest. They stay alive though. Smurf falling low. Discord orb out onto him. Kai gets the headshot. There's the finish. Now Prophet dead as the infra sight is pulled, and the cleanup is going to be found. Accretion gets the hit there onto Creative. The cleanup comes through. Atlanta Reign get the cap. Now they've got 3 minutes and 18 seconds for the push.
And there's some good snowball potential here as well, because for whatever reason Fitz went for the infra sight. His team was already kind of dying. He pulls an infra sight out. You can't even call that a hero ult because it's not a Dragon Blade or anything, right? It's just a bit of info, and the only info that Fitz sees as well, I think we're losing. He'll at least get the opening shot coming through. The snowball potential I was going to talk about is the fact that Kai can actually use infra sight up when Ultraviolet respawns to give themselves an info advantage over Fitz, who can't counter with his own infra sight. Usually both infra sights will be used to trade each other. Here, Seoul Dynasty have to play blind.
They do, which means that they're playing back around the corner. As Kai gives a wave, seeing Fitz over on that right-hand flank. Smurf pushing forward, kinetic grasp out, still takes a hell of a lot of damage as soon as it expires though. Needs to continue to play safe, but Kai gets Fitz. No infra sight, no problem. Finds the shot, gets another. Creative take it down, Benhame out of the fight, and Kai is absolutely on fire. Prophet trying to trade him. And he can't make it happen. Yeah, 4 as you say. Huge sequence of events from Kai. And there you go. A massive time bank now to work with on this final stretch is Creative.
Oh, stagger.
Yeah. The alley-oop is there. Nero just moves forward. Storm Arrow's at the ready, gets the kill.
And this is, I think, the difference of the infra sight. Like, I kind of teed it up, right? This is what you can do when the other team doesn't have an infra sight. So it is not insignificant that Fitz wasting his infra sight trying to defend A really, you know, cost his team a big information disadvantage. And Seoul played extremely lost for the later parts of B because they had to play defensively versus Kai's offensive infra sight. And Atlanta Reign used that to perfection. Kai got a number of kills off the back of that one, and Seoul Dynasty just didn't know what hit them.
I mean, look at his percentage. He's at 97% already. One more tap or just, you know, 4 more seconds. He's got another infra sight already. Just massive from Kai. Fitz trying to catch up, but still 38% left to go. Or rather, 28% left to go. I can do math.
And just pushing on the ground. You see that Reign aren't even going for the pull. Seoul Dynasty have to kind of push on out. They can't afford to sit idly by because they're just allowing this payload to push in.
They are. And while it's not the headshot that we were looking for there on our screens, it's Creative can take it down. Nero opening it up. Prophet now eliminated. Somebody's going to have to contest. There's the drop down. Smurf trying to play forward. Mortality field used. Creative. He's got the Transcendent at the ready. Needs to use it. Flux not going to connect. But now Creative has the touch. Transcendent's going to be expiring here rather soon. Prophet coming back. Clears out the Immortality field, but up on the high ground. Nero just snipes away. Kills him off, and Prophet is a second too late to keep it contested. Atlanta Reign on their map pick will be able to push it to the end. They complete, and now they move up 2-1.
And it really comes down to me. I think Kai is the playmaker that gets it across the line for the Atlanta Reign. And part of the difference between the two teams is the fact that, okay, both Widowmakers are going to have initial struggles attacking as a Widowmaker specifically on A, but Fitz didn't really start to catch up until we got further into the map, specifically on the defense. Kai found a pretty wide opening gap that he took advantage of on B that pushed him forward. I'm going to go back to the infra side advantage. You know, it's rare to see that specific ultimate provide you the tools to get a payload across the line and win you fights. You don't normally think an infra sight is going to be the difference maker, but here I very specifically think it was Kai's infra sight where Fitz didn't have one that got Reign that advantage.
Very much agree. Well, the players taking a quick little break, but they don't have very long. When we come back, we'll be going into what very well could be the last map of this series, the last map for the Dynasty in the Midseason Madness, unless they can take the 5. We'll see where they elect to go for push when we return.
222 days since our screens were last graced by the Overwatch League, and it's an honor to don the headset again to bring you our 5th season.
I'm excited. First day of Overwatch League 2022.
I mean, it's been a treat of matches today. All types of upsets.
Feels like forever since we've had Overwatch League. To be back with such a fresh game, I'm here for it.
Soldier's back in the mix, Genji's back in the mix.
It has been a long time coming, and it feels great to be back.
Proper's just eviscerated the Eternals backline. Proper has arrived. There is a direct pipeline from the very best talent to the San Francisco shop.
Pelican could take down Dylan early. He's gone! The revenge! Live events are back here at the Overwatch League.
Dallas Seoul, they do this composition to perfection.
Funny Astro has been incredible for his entire career, just forcing the position of the Dallas Fuel.
Okay, so this is the anti-nade that set the entire thing up. What is more satisfying than that? I cannot name a single thing.
Come at me, bro. Let's see what you got.
Can fight on top of this. What a trade. There's no way Happy hits those.
Are we going to be in someone's YouTube video?
Where's your god now?
Dante on Doomfist, I think, is one of the biggest standout things from that team.
Fire in the breath. The sleeping dragon has awoken.
They pushed the current reigning champions to the brink.
Oh, an aim from MM3. One fight to rule them all now, Lemon.
Ooh, beautiful stuff. This guy's a real deal.
The cars just ran over Krillin and back.
It's sports. It's unpredictable.
Flood is just creeping. He obviously vented for this spot. Backs are just looking so open.
I just saw this guy kill Develop.
He is the alpha and the omega. He is everywhere and nowhere all simultaneously.
BJ Gone getting a triple boot. Helen top 5 plays.
Attack Hunter is available. Lip is going to pop that.
Grand Finals MVP, Lip sealing the deal.
All 5 members. They've shown that they can absolutely contend with the best of the best.
Gushue is going A mode, and Spark are just pummeling down the fusion.
Who expected this? Your power rankings are terrible.
Feels pretty darn good to be back here in a LAN setting. It's been quite some time. The Overwatch League's most decorated franchise here in a new era. The pulse on the bag! Another from Proper!
Sparkle on a Genji meta.
Sparkle found an opening. There's one, there's two.
That's the Sparkle I want to see in this series.
Those stats getting padded by Sparkle. Sparkle with 2 and another one.
This is going to be a heck of a weekend, I'll tell you right now. You get Kai set up, it is going to be just like that the rest of the game.
Back on their side of the map, that's a stink! Oh, checkmate! A Widow player potentially without equal.
That is some filthy stuff.
Where did that come from? A triple Death Blossom.
The Pelican comes out of nowhere! That's 2 with the Storm Arrows! Millimeters away from victory, and they've done it!
Shanghai Dragons just continue to play right out in front of the spawns.
There's the blade being used. Nice pin, long pin too.
Alfie into the back there, managing to fight 2. Basically the equivalent of 3 people. He nearly had all of the kills.
Seoul Dynasty have not defeated the Shanghai Dragons since the 2020 playoffs. I think these are the top 2 teams in APAC.
MM3 goes absolutely monstrous. They take down the Dragons. I sweet. Best Widowmaker in all of APAC.
Oh, he fell onto it! Kester, who has been frightening ever since he joined this team.
Smurf knows what it feels like to win everything, hungry to experience that feeling once more.
Edison is locked in, ready to go. Edison with a 5K. That's what you want to see. They might just pull the trigger here. They do, but an unreal wall from Shinbei.
Now the stakes get ratcheted up a notch.
It is do or die.
Pops the recall. Is looking for the target. Stick comes in. He's going to find him. Cross in the meantime. Found 2 with the pulse bomb.
Han Bin is the best Sire in the world right now.
Shu has absolutely taken matters into his own hands.
But Panapan free firing on the fuel. And after so very long, the Dynasty will be able to best the Dragons.
Playoffs Prophet has certainly arrived. The script writers, they're not messing around today.
You step up to the plate, son. With a victorious war, the Gladiators are just tearing them apart. Seoul Dynasty will dominate their way and secure the kickoff Clash title.
And we are back. The Dynasty backs up against the wall on their last legs. 2-1 the scoreline at the moment as the Atlanta Reign close out a win on Circuit Royale. The Dynasty now need to win on push to take this into 5 if they want to stay alive in the tournament. The reigning champions of the East very well could be going home today.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a big surprise that we're here as well, and let me explain what I mean by that. Specifically, Circuit Royale is a fantastic map for the Atlanta Reign. I dare even say it's probably maybe their top map, given that it just plays towards all their strengths. You get to have Hawk on his signature. Sigma over there, Kai obviously on the Widowmaker has just diffed everybody on this map. Now we saw him yesterday, or on day 1 rather, completely annihilating London. It was the only map they actually won, but Kai got that win for them. And now versus Seoul Dynasty, Fitz once again just cannot hold the candle to Kai, whether that be on a Sojourn or Ash on Oasis, or now on Circuit Royale. Where the Seoul Dynasty have succeeded is with Stalker in to play the Sojourn. They won King's Row off the back of that, plus Smurf playing Dive. Now they can go over towards Coliseum, where more Dive hopefully is on the cards for a player like Smurf on maybe a Ball, maybe a Winston again. Seoul Dynasty relying on the young kid Stalker, and that's, I guess, the horse that they have to ride to try and take this one home into a map 5. I do think we have a high shot of a map 5 here. Questions as to what Atlanta Reign will run. Yesterday, well, not yesterday, it feels like yesterday to me. Day 1, they played Hawk on Rhine versus Hardy. Didn't go well. But today, you're not playing against the London Spitfire anymore. Is it going to be the Rhine again? Yeah, there it is. It's going to do it.
That they are. Let's see if the Dynasty, decide to swap things up once they see the composition. Should have a decent read that, this could be coming through. Don't let the scorelines at the top of your screen fool you at all. There we go. Thank you, production. On point. Flip it over. 2-1. Atlanta Reign on match point. If they can close out Coliseum here and now, they stay alive. They eliminate the Eastern champions.
Well, the composition for the Seoul Dynasty can be pretty tricky to rush down. So for the Atlanta Reign, I think Rhine is pretty well played here. And one thing that we did want to see is, okay, London's not here anymore. We don't get to see London versus an APAC team, but we do get to see Atlanta Reign play a Rhine brawl versus an APAC team. So how are Seoul Dynasty going to dissect this one? We already have potential flanks coming on through. Smurf that we saw making a big flank out from the back now.
There he is, goes in for the pile driver, gets the knock up on the 2. Stays safe, Maywall out from Nero. Just cutting things off. Make sure that they can top everybody back up. Now go back on the offensive. Hawk receiving the Discord Orb, gets knocked down to about half HP, keeps that shield raised. Ducks back here. Into the side room, man. Stay safe, but Stalker once more finds an opening kill, and now he gets a second one. Hawk goes down. Kai will put an end to this. There's the damage already dealt. Is it far too late for them to continue forward? We'll have to just wait and see. Kai gets another elimination as Vinheim goes down. Pile driver from Smurf finishes off Nero. Dangerously low is creative. Gets the kill onto Kai. OG there for the alley-oop, but it's quickly traded thereafter. It's an absolute bloodbath as the bot will start pushing now for the side of the Dynasty, looking to retake the lead, just 0.2 meters away from that. Can't quite make it happen. Hawk re-arrives, everybody scatters.
Nero comes back on a Sombra as well. I was actually going to suggest maybe he swap over towards a Tracer to chase down Smurf's ball, but a Sombra actually works for that as well. This is one of the few times where I will actually accept the Sombra. I think it's a good counter. It's a good way to sort of at least put the pressure on the Smurf. May isn't going to do you a lot of favors in this particular matchup, so that might have been a misread coming through from Atlanta Reign, but I do believe they are on the right heroes now. Kai versus Stalker, though. That has to be the conversation so far. Both players looking towards an overclock.
The pulse bomb, there's the stick, it could be massive. Mortality field does come up in time to keep them safe, and Stalker again finding another kill, finds a second. That's the support side of the fight. He's gonna get himself a third. Absolutely massive from Stalker. Once more, comes back through, continues to deliver on the Sojourn.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be the 3K allowing the overclock to be coming online. I mean, Kai's not that far behind, but Seoul Dynasty off the back of that will be able to get some decent mileage. Atlanta Reign now move over towards the Doom, so this is an ever-changing composition. Look, if Atlanta Reign want to play towards an actual dive composition, we'll see if they want to continue with the BAP or not, because this is where you actually want to think about maybe Ultraviolet playing the Ana again. It's much more helpful to Hawk, and it can counter Smurf as well.
Nade down, looking for Hawk. They put decent damage out onto the Doom Fist. He jumps up onto the high ground. Breaking line of sight is Stalker aware of Kai's position. Pops the overclock, looks for a target, but everybody is quite far back, so I'm not sure how much value he's going to be able to find with this ult. Maybe a bit of a zoning ult here as it will expire.
Big distance though. Gives them push.
True. Well, now Overclock going to be matched. Kai using it, seeing the supports, looking for the shot. Takes Vinheim so very low. The immortality field was there. He keeps himself alive for a little bit longer, but the Transcendence is far too late to try to save his cohort. Creative cannot keep Vinheim in this. At least does manage to stay alive for a little bit longer, and Stalker once more continues to do work, this time fighting Ultraviolet, but Nero quickly trades it back. Prophet finds OG, tries to get an elimination with that Pulse Bomb, but Nero does manage to find the kill.
Still
once
pushing.
more, heavily back and forth, very bloody, but it's the Dynasty still pushing, as you say.
Yeah, they won't be able to quite get the cap here. I think Smurf will try and make it competitive in terms of just being annoying. He actually could cap a little bit more if he wants to, but won't take the risk there. Doesn't want Nero just hunting him down. So 61.77, just a little shy from actually getting the checkpoint, but it is a decent early lead in the first 4 minutes. So Seoul Dynasty can certainly be happy with that. Stalker leading so far in the final blows department, as you'd expect. I mean, so impactful in those early 4 minutes.
Damn it.
There he is. Bot contested for now, the EMP thrown in, Vinheim taken down, the dive into the back line, looking great for the side of the Atlanta Reign. Smurf only able to find OG before taking a nap. That was met with a hack. Prophet dies, Smurf does find another one. The supports are gone, as you say, but it's just gonna be Smurf left, and he will fall. So the bot now gaining some distance for the side of the Reign.
Not a lot of distance though, because eventually Reign had to slow down. They had to wait for supports to push on up, so this isn't going to be a situation where Reign can necessarily force a flip. See how far away Ultraviolet OG is. I talked about UV eventually moving to Ana. That's definitely happened at this stage. Just wanted to play the window first, and it's not going to be a lot of distance, right? 21 meters, and had they had at least one support alive, possibly could have pushed further than that, but you'll do for this now.
Window goes out, Meteor Strike dropping down, Immortality Field in response, Vinheim. Johnny on the spot with that. Keeps them in the fight as the Overclock going to be popped by Kai. Stalker pulling back around the corner, still just 9% away from having that ult himself. Smurf drops the minefields back over towards the bot.
Dude.
Creative takes Kai's head off as he was trying to get in a little bit of a cheeky flank angle. Smurf, however, caught out, nowhere to go, ends up falling, but the same could be said for Hawk, overstepping his bounds. Stalker cleans that up, finds Ultraviolet as well, as in his dying breath throws the nano onto OG, but it doesn't matter. The cleanup is still there.
Now down to about 4 minutes, created with a further frag as well. It's actually going to be a late stag onto Nero. Opportunity here for Seoul Dynasty to maybe force a cap. If Seoul Dynasty actually hit the checkpoint, they're going to get that stall moment through, and just getting that through means they have a lot of advantages for the rest of the push available. And finally, yep, that's going to be the checkpoint confirmed.
So
all 5 alive, by the way, for Seoul.
That they are. Again, Seismic Slam out, finds 3. Stalker going to be taken down. Nice punch there from Hawk. And another one being sent to sailing off the side of the map. Dangerous, precarious spot to be playing in. The bot will be taking control of here for the side of the Reign.
Yeah.
Good distance is set up. The checkpoint already established for Dynasty.
7-3-8-9. Really, really good distance here for the Seoul Dynasty. 50 ahead of Atlanta Reign. Quick turnaround though, that's what you definitely want to see, with Hawk being able to just punch a couple of guys off. UV, by the way, on a big flank with Nero, so I have to catch up on what Ultraviolet wants to do there. Maybe looking for a backline sleep dart or Byronade.
Yeah, trying to get into the back line here. No pulse to work with. Prophet has one though, and he's going to take down OG. It's the supports once more out of the fight for the side of the Reign. With Hawk as low as he is, it's a quick cleanup. Dynasty just do not allow the Reign to gain too much distance at all. The bot once more under their control. Nero, a late death. Right now, just the supports alive for the side of the Reign, as they're going to have to reset and try to wrest control away from the Dynasty.
So the little excursion that UV and Nero go on, unsuccessful. UV dies almost immediately to Stalker. Maybe if you slept creative a Vindime and Nero goes in, that could have been a kill. But, try to get tricky with it. Sadly, it does not work out. 2:45 now. Time is seriously becoming an issue for the Atlanta Reign, and there's a lot of distance.
Okay. Yeah, he narrowly manages to escape. That was looking catastrophic for the side of the Reign. Nano now out onto Hawk. 65 HP, and they're trying to kill him through the mitigation.
Oh, fancy
lower. Still somehow does manage to stay alive. Yeah, but Prophet eventually does hound him down. Gets the kill. Smurf as well. Falling lower. Anti has expired. Prophet just walks in behind OG, gun to the back of the head, pulls the trigger. Zenyatta gone. Vinheim getting chipped away at. Shield is raised. Nero trying to finish him off, and as Prophet tries to peel, Kai shuts down Prophet.
Well, it does mean that Seoul Dynasty no longer push, but once again, this is not their goal, right? Seoul Dynasty, this far ahead, no longer need to play for distance. They just got to play for stall, play for the defense, prevent Atlanta Reign from pushing underneath this entire archway, There's a few different ways they can contest this one, and Atlanta Reign, until they can get all 5, it's not really going to look good for them. Waiting for OG to catch up, but OG's actually in a 1v1 against Smurf.
Sneaky Nero, dropping down, trying to get the one clip there on a creative. He cannot do so. It actually ends up falling. The whip shot from Vinheim getting that elimination. Stalker and Kai both have the overclocks rolling, but Kai tries to take the high ground. Stalker denies it. A great headshot follow-up hit is there as Ultraviolet dies. OG dies quickly thereafter. There's the Atlanta Reign. Feels very rare with it, been able to actually play with both of their supports in the fights. Consistently getting picked off. Dynasty once more, keeping the bot locked on Reign's side of the map.
This is going to be a rough OT for Reign. Reign at this point need to bank up very significantly in ultimates. They would ideally be able to win a couple of fights just in the neutral without having to spend anything. You're having to think about the long game now if you're the Atlanta Reign. A minute left to go. Brilliant opening pick. 5v4, that's what you need. You need these fights. We can just get picks and don't spend.
That Smurf now going to be taking a nap in the back lines as well. They'll turn their sights over towards him. Anthony goes out and he doesn't stand a damn chance. The cleanup comes through. Nero picked off by Creative in the back end, but Creative himself was in a poor position, so Kai is able to find it, so it's additional stagger. Push now coming in. Let's see how close they can get this to the checkpoint here.
If they don't get creative, they're just down 4v5. It's very hard to wait for Nero, right? Despite him being a tracer, he has to come back all the way from his spawn, so you have to get a trade there. So very good from Kai to get that trade.
Nano once more, onto Hawk. Good juke there from Vinheim to dodge the punch. Meteor Strike dropping down onto Smurf, but it's enough to kill. Good damage focus on the side of the Atlanta Reign. They get rid of the tank.
Watch the cap.
Rally out, however, still Vinheim just giving that green HP over to people. And the bot once more pushing forward, getting closer and closer to the checkpoint. Atlanta Reign starting to feel it. Vinheim going to be taken down. We still need to make the checkpoint as we enter into overtime. They have just shy of just over 4 meters rather left to go. But Ultraviolet is dead. Smurf dropping in the minefield finds Hawk as well. 2 members now down. The pulse from Mount Fernio are not going to be able to find anything. The Transcendence is here from Creative. They keep everybody alive. Another kill for Smurf. Make it 4 in the fight as the OT ticks down. And we are not done yet. The Dynasty fight back. They say, we have not picked up many maps so far this tournament. In fact, this is just the second one that they've gotten. But they fight tooth and nail to take this all the way to game 5.
They have the Wonder sub, right? When you start losing, you feel like Fitz isn't really able to come up to snuff against a player like Kai. Stalker certainly can. Stalker comes in with a massive statement. I'm the better Sojin in this series. You might be the better Widowmaker, but Widowmaker's only going to be effective for that one map. The rest of the series is still within the hands of the Seoul Dynasty. Smurf playing a dive here, going over towards the ball. Atlanta Reign, slow start. Remember, they came through with the initial Ryan brawl with the Mei as well for Nero. I will again repeat, I think that is a misread, not necessarily the Ryan, but certainly the Mei. You have to know that Seoul are going to be playing a dive there. Mei's not going to help you. Hawk and Ultraviolet eventually have to change gears as well, so that's 3 players that had to swap off their initial picks, which does slow them down significantly as far as the economy is involved, and that's why Seoul Dynasty can win the neutral, force swaps, have ultimate advantages, and snowball to 70 meters very quickly.
I like the map and Smurf just combing his hair, making sure that he looks good on camera. He is just cool, calm, and collected, as is Stalker, who's been looking immaculate in the 2 maps that we've seen him in. Honestly, at this point, it seems like we're likely going to see him stick through for the 5th and final. We'll see if he can continue to have this immense amount of value and help them get a win in a map 5 Dynasty. They need it to move forward to the tournament. Atlanta needs it. Who's going to get it? I don't know, but we'll have to just wait and find out. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We, of course, have a 5th and final map for you here to round out the first day of eliminations. Dynasty holding on by a thread. Managed to get a win on Colosseo. Now we have one last round of control selected by the Atlanta Reign to decide who is staying in Midseason Madness and who is going home.
This one's for all the marbles. Only one sub coming through. Will be Venom coming in for Nero, which basically dictates that the Atlanta Reign will be mostly playing a dive composition here. Fun fact though, Reign can actually still play the full Ryan Brawl if they want to. Venom also plays a pretty sick Mei. That's something a lot of people don't know, but he actually did display that during the kickoff clash, but unlikely to see much more out of that. I think for the Reign, going back towards a Doom, going back towards more of their own dive style is probably going to end up being correct there. For the Seoul Dynasty though, this is also a pretty good map. I think this is not a particular map that favors anybody. This is the most neutral map that we could really go to. Ilios, I don't even know who I would favor on that one, but we don't even have to think about it at this stage. Li Jung is just going to be a very clean, honest 50-50 here. I legitimately think that either team could potentially take this one. However, the one swing card for me, the one piece of utility on the side of Seoul Dynasty is Stalker. I think he's been by far the outstanding player here of all 10 players. And if Atlanta Reign can't shut this guy down, they're not going to beat the Seoul Dynasty. Aside from that, though, Atlanta Reign have a very good shot.
Yeah, I mean, we saw with Fitz-In, able to control him, able to get those punishes regularly, but it's very much few and far in between when they've been able to get the better of Stalker. The guy has just been basically immortal in the two maps that we've seen from him so far. Now we'll see if he can maintain that as we go into the third. A couple celebratory baskets going through to give them some good luck.
Yeah.
As the gates open up, Stalker going to be swapping not onto the Soldiers, this time onto the Tracers. Prophet takes to the skies, and Kai is dead off the rip.
Yeah, I think Prophet maybe has a bad read here as well. He maybe assumed that it was going to be Orion coming through, but in either case, they have the opening frags. They're going to win this fight regardless. Lucio Moya from Atlanta Reign, I mean, I don't know if you want me. I don't know if you want me complaining about this lineup anymore. I mean, Lucio Moya, like I said, my piece during the Dallas game. I don't think this comp works.
Well, that was just an opening shooting gallery. Everybody getting involved there from the side of the Dynasty. Quick kills coming through as the Atlanta Reign looking to rush back over to the point now. Discord onto Hawk. Smurf down below half HP. Hawk jumping around the corner, puts quite a bit of damage there on him. Ultraviolet in position, gets the kill. Smurf taken down as well. Seems like Reign may be able to find a pretty quick flip here, but Stalker just managed to find one. Pops the recall to stay safe. Chases there from Venom. Grabs the Mega Pack, but Atlanta have control of the point.
The problem here is because Stalker's on the Tracer, Prophet can't swap off unless he goes Genji. Prophet is typically not a Sojourn play on this team. Okay, Echo is actually an okay choice as well, but ideally what you want here is you want Prophet Tracer and Stalker Sojourn. So this is a potential pitfall for Seoul Dynasty if they can't figure out their comp.
Hawk better getting a bit of that damage. Kai with a nice headshot takes Vinheim out. Stick comes through. Kai dead. Stalker continuing to find some value as Hawk going to be taken down this time around. Sticky bombs are able to get it done. Prophet just poking and prodding, makes his way through the windowsill. Throws out some more bombs this time, not really going to be finding too much of a connection. The beam going to be an early cancels. He turns the sights over to OG, who makes his exit out the window.
Nano available. UV down as well. This is Big Smurf with 2!
Oh! Absolutely huge. I wonder if that was knocked off the side of the map or if they just straight up died. Given his position right here. I think it's going to be the former. OG has to make his exit. Just as quickly as they gained control of the Reign, they do lose it. Dynasty now back.
Let's take a look.
Thank you, observers, for the replay.
Oh, that is disgusting. That's just so good.
That is just juiced.
And he gets his meteor strike off the back of that as well. So what you're going to see here is Seoul Dynasty can play aggressively when Ultraviolet goes for the coal. Smurf can just dive on top of him with a nano.
Yeah, the trance is already out from Vinheim. Coalescence used, but Prophet taken down out of the skies. Can't keep him protected. Smurf now goes up into the sky. Does he want to take it aggressively is the question. Overclock is rolling from Kai. Spots him. He's got no HP, and Kai says, thank you very much. All too easy for me. Creative dead to the pulse bomb. Venom finds both of the supports. The cleanup will be there. Dynasty going to be losing control of the point once more, and Atlanta Reign now in a position where they can retake this lead.
Brig going to be on the cards for Vindame now. Seoul have to identify the Coalescence as the prime target there. That's the strength of the Atlanta Reign. When they have Coalescence, that's their go button. So for the Seoul Dynasty, bad timing. Profit ends up going down early. It's a 4v5. If they're going to commit into that fight, and they actually did, you need to send Smurf in. You have the Nano there available as well. UV got his full coal, and Seoul Dynasty can't allow him to do that again.
Stalker and Venom. Having a little mild skirmish over towards White Room. The supports for Dynasty are hanging out currently. Smurf contesting the point. Stalker backing him up. Pulse Bomb still in the pocket. He's looking for it. Pushes forward. Tries to get Kai. Can't make it happen. In fact, Kai, while under that pressure, caught Smurf in the head with a rail. Venom finds Stalker. Prophet still committing the dupe to this fight, despite the fact that they lose a couple people. Creative does manage to help swing it back in their favor just a little bit by taking down OG, but now Creative is going to fall. Prophet does build up for a Meteor Strike with the duplicate, but he's going to pop it, but he needs to find some value, some kills. He's not finding a damn thing. Gets knocked out of it, immediately gets taken down. Stalker rejoining, does find a single elimination, dealing with Ultraviolet. DOT is going to start bleeding away faster and faster in the Reign. They still will maintain control of the point. The first round, Lijiang Tower Gardens going their way.
And I have to rewind this again, and we have to talk about the discussion of Profit coming in on the Pharah. I think that is a fatal misread coming through from the Seoul Dynasty. I say fatal because they're now down severely match point against Atlanta Reign. We move over to Control Center, and if it ends here, Seoul Dynasty are going to have to revisit that moment with a lot of pain in their eyes. You have to assume, they must have assumed that Atlanta Reign were to come through with a Ryan comp or something like that. They were thinking, okay, maybe, you know, we'll do the typical thing that most people do against London Spitfire when they play up against their Ryan on Gardens. You bring up the Pharah, you know, seems to be able to work. It worked for Mayhem earlier today. The biggest issue I have with Profit starting onto the Pharah, whether they believe it's going to be a Ryan comp from Atlanta Reign or not, is the fact that Stalker begins on the Tracer, which locks out both Profit from playing his own Tracer, and also potentially locks out Stalker from playing the Sojin, because you now have to delete 2 ultimates, 2 player swapping to get onto your actual heroes. Reminder, how did Seoul Dynasty beat Atlanta Reign on the maps they've actually beaten them on? Stalker playing his Sojin, diffing Kai's Sojin. Yep. Sojin for Kai here, no competition on the other end. Profit playing an Echo, that's easy money for Kai to beat. You need Stalker back on a Sojin, you need Profit on towards a Tracer. A fatal error in their opening composition that snowballed out of control in terms of losing that round for them. That is really poor from the Seoul Dynasty.
Well, we'll see if they get their heads on straight and rectify the mistakes that we just saw there on Gardens, but well, pressure certainly is mounting, and Dynasty have not been pushed like this for quite some time. I mean, I guess you would say they haven't been pushed like this since they bested the Shanghai Dragons in that lower bracket during the kickoff clash. That was pretty much the last time they felt this much pressure. It's maybe able to get the better of them here today. We'll have to just wait and see what the comps look like, what they decide to piece together as we do go into Control Center for the second round, but they absolutely need to find success here. Ready ups are coming through from the side of Atlanta Reign, so whatever issue they were experiencing should be taken care of, and we can get, you know, this action going once more.
This is what I said earlier before we got into Lijiang Tower, right? This is very winnable for both teams, but specifically, Atlanta Reign would need to get over the line of dealing with Stalker. Well, Seoul Dynasty just, Stalker deals with himself when he's just not playing the Sojin, clearly. So, yeah, Reign are like, thank you very much, Seoul Dynasty. You dealt with Stalker for us. This is where it needs to turn back around the other way again. I don't know if University is particularly a strong round for the Seoul Dynasty in terms of submap here. They don't necessarily get to play dive. In fact, they're going to come through on towards their broad composition. What does Stalker go? Tracer. Alrighty. Well, they better hope this is going to work. It's going to be a Cassidy, Tracer, Zarya brawl versus a Doom, Lucio Moira.
Okay. Well, just as quickly as we got back into it, we'll have another pause as I'm Profit calling for it. So
yeah.
Sure
Prophet's like, wait, hang on. He's like, are we on the right heroes, guys? Are we really on the right heroes?
Swap. I'm trying to move off the Cassidy, but my H button isn't working.
I would strongly prefer Stalker to actually start on maybe a Genji here, if only for the possibility that it allows Profit to go back on a Tracer, if things go poorly. Because you're in the same sort of situation here, but now that Stalker is locked in Tracer, Profit cannot take the Tracer. He's going to end up having to go towards, I suspect, maybe a Genji here instead of the Echo. simply because the Echo being blocked in terms of the height of this particular map, but also you want a good nano target. Echo's a fine nano target, but Genji is just so much better because of the blade. Those things become important. I'm also a little bit nervous about the Smurf Zarya because I don't think this was good for them on Oasis, so yeah, this would be a very disappointing exit for the Seoul Dynasty if, to me, they threw away Gardens. They did a great job of coming back to even get us here by winning Colosseo. And now we finish in a situation where I don't know if this Zarya comp is going to be good enough for Seoul to win.
It's a lot of eggs all in one basket. I mean, I guess basically it is the way that they have to play this out. They've only got, 2 more rounds to be played if they can win here on Control Center, try to extend it over the night market. But right now, from what we are seeing, it is a very risky gamble that they are taking. Well, they haven't gotten
because here's the thing,
what the issue is, but hopefully
night market is, to me, fine for the Seoul Dynasty. Smurf can go back towards a Doom. You definitely will play the Soj and Tracer there. To bow out in map number 5, when Stalker's Sojin is what got you here, to not even have Stalker play Sojin at all on map 5, I think is a critical error. Truly, I do.
It's a bit of a weird one. Really odd adjustment, but who knows? I don't know. Coach Toby making the call, but it could come back to bite them in the rear.
He's rolling dice. He's rolling dice. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they are. Big gambles being taken, and somebody is going to be very upset at the end of it. They're going to lose their life savings on these gambles.
I mean,
have to wait and see if it's on the side of the Reign or if it's the Dynasty.
I think Atlanta Reign have been given a lifeline. I think they are very comfortable into this sort of matchup. I would even go. I don't want to curse them by saying I favor them here, but this is the best shot for Atlanta Reign, and no matter what happens here, I think both teams have played very well so far. I mean, let's take a look at the Tracer stats just from that opening round on to Gardens. Obviously, a bit of a struggle for the Seoul Dynasty. Now, Stalker does have a pretty good Tracer, but I think his key hero, once again, is a Sojin. So, Seoul are kind of doing themselves a disservice by not playing that hero.
I mean, maybe they'll make an adjustment in the end. Just kind of have to wait and see. I think the ready ups once more getting ready to come through, so hopefully we'll get this back underway, in which we are right now. Time ticking down, and hopefully we can avoid any further issues. Yep, it is just going to be at Cassidy. Let's see how it looks for Profit. As right now, Braille charged up to Kai, waiting for an opportunity.
Kai looks a bit different.
Click.
Kai and Smurf have become the same person. No, it's fine. Big punch coming through from Hawk.
That explains the map losses.
Yeah.
So a little sleeper agent there as Smurf will be taken down. Kai finding the elimination. The nade able to just go ahead and clean him up. And Atlanta Reign, much like we were seeing on the first map of Oasis, are able to lock down the point first and foremost. Stalker as well going to be taken down. Everybody collectively retreating backward over towards the dropship.
Very comfortable opening fight win for the Atlanta Reign. Hawk with the triple punch, leading to a number of frags. Seoul Dynasty walking out. Good damage from Stalker and Prophet, though. The Deadeye is actually almost available. That's maybe something they can work with. 70% on the Nano as well.
Oh boy, meat grinder here in the hallway. Aim going to be taken out. Stalker does manage to find Hawk and Prophet down to a sliver of HP. He's trying to hold on, but OG just gets right on top of him. Just pumping that primary fire right there into his head. It's the kill as Stalker tries to make his way over to the health pack, but cannot do so.
Smurf changed.
Smurf now swapping it up.
And this is the thing, I felt like this was they were going to realize that I felt like they should have realized Zarya wasn't the answer after Oasis. This just is unfortunate. And now they want to be playing the dive, but again, the DPS situation means that they are stuck on these heroes for the time being. Coalescence coming, by the way. Have to shut this call down.
Nearly there. Venheim just a little bit further behind OG as far as that charge is concerned. Venom lobbing forward, tries to get the stick. Prophet going to be trying to survive, and oh my goodness, okay. Master Deadeye comes up with both supports. Big kill coming through. Dynasty, long last, going to be able to lock down the point for themselves, but Atlanta Reign, they give themselves a nice little lead, 71% established.
I ask for a Coalescence shutdown. Prophet says one of those coming right on up. Deadeye will collect a couple of kills here. UV now moving over towards the Ana. That's going to do great into the matchup versus Smurf. Creative's already there. Sound barrier available for both teams.
Prophet stunned up there for just a moment. Smurf and Hawk going back and forth. The Meteor Strike used first here by Hawk. Doesn't get the shielding though. Sound barrier used while he was still up into the air, but it will just be a trade out. Both of the Doomfists now falling high. Continuing to push up, yet gets the headshot. Prophet eliminated. Now looking for a little bit more. OG antied out, Creative able to snipe and find that kill, but he's under an immense amount of pressure. Peel does come through and everybody just piles in on top of Kai. They get that kill. Venom does get Creative, but Ultraviolet going to be traded just as quickly, and Dynasty looks like they may just be able to maintain control at this point, but now they're without their support, so things do become a little bit more dicey.
Possible available for Stalker, has to stay alive here. Actually had a punch from, I believe, Hawk, but out alive. Seoul Dynasty can catch up to percentage points. 71, not that far away, and a couple more ultimates available than the Rain do, including ones that are closer. Smurf and Creative. Prophet actually kind of making this Cassie work strangely. I don't consider this hero to be as good as a Sojin, but Seoul, this is the hand that they've been dealt. They have to play it.
All right, recall forced. Stalker. Pulse bomb. Held. Waiting for an opportunity. Now going to be antied out. He jumps forward. There's going to be the stick. Goes out onto Hawk. Takes it low. They managed to find the kill in the end. It's going to be a 2-for-1 and Smurf has fallen before using the Meteor Strike. Prophet for now going to be taking a nap, and oh boy, it is one that he's not going to wake up from. Kai puts that rail right into his head. Clean up on the Cassidy is there. Nano still being invested. They want to try to win this and get this flip right now before Dynasty can make their way to 99%. With Vinheim going down, that looks a hell of a lot more likely. Smurf falling low, takes the Meteor Strike up, comes straight back down. Doesn't find a kill for it. Doesn't find damage either. Big Bionade out onto 3. Venom recalls to get rid of the debuff. As the Deadeye from Prophet, point blank there onto Hawk, not going to find the kill, but the primary fire will in the end. Kai turns his attention back over to the Cowboy, takes his head off once more. The flip is there. Atlanta Rain now in control. 99%, but it's going to be last fight opportunity for them.
Yeah, he hasn't changed just yet, though. The Nano's coming online as well. Creative very slowly. They have to be able to get back in for this final contest. It might all end here, 99-99. Can Seoul take us to a third round, or Atlanta Rain going to knock Seoul out of the Midseason Madness? The support ultimates could not be further away for Seoul, though.
The touch needing to come through here relatively.
Oh my God!
Prophet makes his way up onto the high ground, rolls away. Lude's getting locked down by Hawk. A massive kill. An opener there for the side of the Dynasty as we're in the double OT. Ultraviolet now OG dead. Hawk stunned up off the back of the Meteor Strike. He will get dropped, and oh man! Huge opening kill for Prophet. The closeout comes through.
Oh,
Kai knocked away. They say, no touch for you. We will be getting that third and final round.
Smurf saying, hey, look but don't touch, baby. We're gonna go all the way. Another map 5, another third round. And for Seoul Dynasty, what on earth? A Prophet Cassidy is the tool that they were going to use, and somehow that ends up working. Here's what I can guarantee for this final round. Prophet will be starting on the Tracer. Stalker gets to play a hit scan. He can move either between the Ashe or the Sojin. And the Atlanta Rain, I felt like they had an olive branch on that control center, but I guess no one expected the Prophet Cassidy to actually do as much work as it actually did.
I certainly didn't. We've only seen it a couple times. I mean, we've only seen Cassidy, period, in the Overwatch
and
League.
Not from Prophet, by the way. Not from him. From like hit scan plays, not from flex DPSs.
Well, it worked a treat. Nice Bionade to open. OG and Hawk both having to back away. Stalker pushing the corner, looking for some shots. Not much to be found, but Atlanta Rain will take the inside track to get their way over to the point as it gets ready to lock. They're going to be looking for it. Smurf starting to make his way over, though, and the contest is there. Hawk punching over to the flank, not going to find anything. They do pull off the point for just a moment, so the cap is there for the side of the Atlanta Rain, starting to tick up. Hawk, however, he's overstepped. He put himself in the corner. They shut him down. Venom as well. Sliver of HP remaining, does manage to grab the health pack as OG kind of getting bogged right there in the corner. Narrowly survives, antied out. Looks like he will be allowed to escape, but it's a very fast flip here for the Dynasty. Only 18% for the Rain.
Literal 1 HP there for OG, but like you said, escape. Some fantastic Bionades have landed from Creative. One on top of Hawk, and obviously Hawk doesn't have a Meteor Strike. He's just going to die once he's been purpled. So Creative has really been popping off in terms of landing these skill shots. Nearly has a Nano available. That could be the first ultimate of this round.
Looking for the dive on a Creative. He does manage to stay alive for a little bit longer, but OG knocks him off the side of the map. That's the support's gone. Now the DPS getting ready to join him. Prophet with a recall stays alive for a little bit longer, but Smurf dazed up, nowhere to go. Gets hounded down. Venom finding the kill, and Dynasty, yeah, they take a lead by 9%, but now they're about to lose it.
And they have to get really active here now because we're once again back in Coalition's territory. Atlanta Reign can do quite a lot of damage with that. Playing with the Ashe, by the way, also means that Seoul Dynasty can't play Coast. They have to play main. Or at least if they try and play Coast, Stalker will be in trouble. You have to get this Bob in and hope it doesn't get...
Profit! He's just dead. He just absolutely gets bodied right off the rip. Now Benham going to be taken down as well with a pulse bomb. Stalker just flattened by the Meteor Strike. A quick cleanup. And that's 2 ults committed to the fight from the side of the Dynasty, getting absolutely nothing for them.
Stalker, like 50% later from Atlanta Reign is like, yeah, that's Sojin here that I carried on earlier. Might want to play that a little bit more. The Bob, I don't know where it went. I was going to say you can't afford to have the Bob get knocked away and not hit the point, but they got bigger problems to worry about when Prophet dies at the rip. Straight away, 4v5. Doesn't look great. Seoul Dynasty finally playing the comp that I thought they'd just play from the entire way through, but we made it there at the end, 70% accounting for Reign, and here comes the call.
Have quite a bit of damage there on Ultraviolet. Prophet turns his sights over to OG, jumps forward, tries to throw in the pulse bomb, doesn't get the kill, but Stalker swaps to the Sojourn, kills Kai. Question mark, coincidence? I don't know. Gets that elimination. No, now Hawk gonna be taken down. OG sniped as well. I don't know how that was a headshot.
Hey, Kilios.
Feet either way. He gets it.
It's almost like when Stalker plays his best hero, they are winning. Wow. That's, I can't believe it. Who knew? Who knew? Couldn't be me. Definitely wasn't Toby, apparently, but here we are.
I think we're geniuses for figuring this out so much sooner
than the team did. Stalker, wait, Stalker on Sojin? Wow. Woo! Who figured that one out? Congrats.
Well,
he died.
Finally figured out that 1 + 1 = 2. But yeah, he has died. Headshot. And that's devastating because Dynasty did not have time on their side whatsoever. Nade coming down, pushing the corner. The overclock is through, and Benham is dead. Atlanta Reign now looking for the flip, but they are at 92%.
Have to touch.
No one there to contest. The touch going to have to come through. Smurf playing right out front.
He's there.
Where is it? There you go. Moves in, forces the OT. Prophet dead again. Kai charges up the rail, hits him in the back. The kill comes in. Nano boost out on the Smurf to try to keep him alive. Stalker
into trouble.
Trying to be antied. He's trying to stay alive. Dead. He gets taken down. OG's out. Benham dead. Kratom able to find Hawk. That's the only kill they've gotten so far. Smurf, the last one left standing as Prophet needs to rejoin. The Meteor Strike, he drops back down. He gets both of the supports. Is that going to be good enough? Smurf now having fallen. Prophet needs to go playoff mode. Try to drag this back into their favor if they want to have a hope, if they want to have a chance. But he is so damn low, and now he's dead. Benham rejoins. The nade comes in. Stalker comes back, finds Venom. Straight out of the tracers.
He's dead, he's dead!
Has fallen once more. The supports, they clear off the point. Benham has to make his exit, and that is going to do it. They try. Smurf just can't quite get there in time. The Atlanta Reign will take down the champions of the East. The Seoul Dynasty are eliminated as Reign take this series 3-2.
Number 1 seed from the Eastern Division, number 3 seed globally, down and out, 2 matches, not a single victory, and the Atlanta Reign will complete the biggest upset I think so far of this entire tournament. We thought Mayhem beating London was going to be a big upset. No way. This one was huge. And the rest of the team coming in to celebrate. Gator moving from a blue hat to a purple hat. It is what it is.
Like a Gladiator's hat.
Yeah, I know. Wild. We'll take those. You take the 3-2. Incredible stuff. I mean, again, that last Lijiang Tower, I truly did feel once more that it was anybody's map to take. It truly was. But I still look back at Gardens, even that control center, despite Seoul Dynasty winning it, that was tough for them to win. They just, personally for me, did themselves no favors in that sort of matchup. Took Stalker 50% of Night Market to finally go towards the Sojin, but when push comes to shove, Kai getting that initial pickup on Stalker after Stalker came in and won a fight, and then allowing the Atlanta Reign to snowball that point further forward. Some major heroics from Smurf and Prophet towards the end to try and pull it through. That was legitimately like that Seoul versus Shanghai Ilios moment where you're thinking, is Prophet going to do it again? Is he going to create magic where they probably will be in a situation where they could lose? And what it comes down to is Seoul come back in, Stalker is alive, but he's hard focused down, OG's running after him. They know who the target is, they know if they kill Stalker, they probably can't win that. And the Atlanta Reign, they pull through in the last seconds, and what an incredible finish. That's a photo finish to me.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic from the side of the Atlanta Reign. You know, we talked about it. These guys have had these lower bracket runs, and this is definitely a first step forward and a major one for them to be able to take down the Eastern champions and the, you know, the 3rd overall seed team. So a very unfortunate event here for the side of Seoul Dynasty, but Atlanta Reign could be holding their heads high and probably holding Kai up over their heads, lifting him in celebration, because he is going to be our player of the match. He was just so consistent the whole way through. Sojourn, Widowmaker, didn't really matter. Guy was just looking absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean, even when he was struggling versus Stalker, he was still putting up numbers. It wasn't a gargantuan diff, it was a notable diff, but he stuck in there, and he was incredibly good, especially versus Fitz. I mean, that entire Circuit Royale, that's all Guy, and it's one of those magic moments where we saw versus London, they weren't able to get a lot done, but this was going to be the map that they were going to win no matter what, and so being able to pick this map, having this up their sleeve, knowing that they were going to have the better Widowmaker in this matchup, having Hawk play the Sigma as well, gives them at least this one map to play through. Colosseo doesn't go well, so there's things to work on. We know the Atlanta Reign still need to consider how they're going to start winning push maps in the future. Thank goodness for them, this entire tournament is double control. But when you get to that final map, I mean, Atlanta Reign, they were able to clutch on through, get important kills when it mattered. They were able to actually make this Lucian Warrior work in various ways. And thankfully for them as well, you know, I think Seoul Dynasty took their foot off the gas pedal, decided to do some weird stuff, and for the Atlanta Reign, they're like, you know what, if you're not interested in winning, we're going to progress forward.
And that they did. I mean, nearly a kill a minute there from Kai on the Sojourn throughout that, and again, the Widowmaker, something that teams really have to be concerned about moving forward. Just a wild day overall, Avril. We nearly maxed out. We went 19 out of 20 potential maps throughout this evening. Yep. Just the Fusion who were able to make it a little bit cleaner with that 3-1 victory. But yeah, what an absolute crazy day it has been here to kick off the eliminations, the Midseason Madness, truly living up to the tournament's name. But that does it for you and I as far as the casting is concerned. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you guys some more action. But, of course, we have the Watchpoint Post Show that's going to be breaking down everything that has occurred today, and there's been a lot to unpack. So good luck, Avali, Johnny, and Custa. I think you guys have a hell of a lot to discuss, and they're going to be coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, guys.
You have two.
I'm back. Come here. Lisa one.
Nice! Fucking go! Let's go!
Welcome everybody to the Watchpoint Post Show. My name's Danny. I'm here with Venom from Atlanta Reign for the post-match interview. Venom, congratulations on the win. And why are you so good? 일단 오늘 승리 축하드리고 왜 이렇게 잘하시나요?
감사합니다.
He just says thank you. And I think he admitted it. All right, I mean, let's talk about this match. I mean, this was one crazy match, and I think you guys all did a fantastic job. But I want to ask you about Seoul Dynasty. What were your expectations of Seoul Dynasty going into the match, and how were they like? Or how were they like in while doing the match? 일단 첫 번째 질문은 서울에 대해서 일단 경기 시작 전에 좀 어떤 팀이라고 예상을 했고 또 경기를 하면서 실제로 겨뤄보니까 좀 어떤 팀이었나요?
사실 사실 저희랑 크게 막 별 차이가 날 거라고 생각하진 않았어요. 왜냐면 저희가 이제 생각보다 일주일 동안의 스크림이 되게 좋지 않았기 때문에 어떻게 그냥 최대한 열심히 해보자, 볼 트레이서만 막아보자 이런 식으로 게임 했는데 네, 잘 된 것 같아요.
I mean, I didn't think that they were any different from us. I mean, throughout in our scrims in the past couple weeks, we didn't really have a good scrim. We